The views and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the network or anyone affiliated. There will be mature and possibly immature content. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. As a matter of fact, I probably wouldn't listen at all. It's very poorly produced. Take me to your leader.
Welcome to the Monster Castle Radio Show. For the extreme paranormal listener. And here is your host, the Wolfman, Mike.
This is where the real freaks hang out, alright, yeah.
Live, alright. Monster Castle Paranormal Unexpected Surprise Episode. Live on the stream of KTLK The Fringe.
Coming up in a moment is Jeff the Gray.
And this is the news with Darren the Dark.
I'm here. My news story, I don't know if everyone's heard this yet, but a medieval cave system used by the Knights Templar was found by a photographer. And I placed it on Twitter. Hopefully everyone's already seen it. I've already put it on there. So it was hidden in plain sight, and the photographer, Scott, found the rabbit hole that leads to the cave system in Shropshire, England, known as the Cainton Caves, used by the Knights Templar. He photographed and recorded his journey throughout the caves, including into some rooms so small he had to enter on his hands and knees. I put the pictures are what really make it amazing. It has been untouched for 700 years. He traipsed over a field to find it, but if you didn't know it was there, you would walk right past it, Scott told BBC. Considering how long it's been there, it's in amazing condition. It's like an underground temple. The cave network lives about a meter below a farmer's field. It's believed that the Knights Templar carved the sandstone caves by hand, although it's unclear when. Reports put the birth of the cave anywhere between the 17th and 19th centuries, so it's not that long ago, not 700 years. But they don't know for sure. Locals have known about the mystical cave system for quite some time. Around Halloween every year, some decide to infiltrate and celebrate the day with debauchery and ceremony. But in 2012, the owners of the caves closed the site after they discovered the system filled with candles, graffiti, and trash. But anyways, this photographer went in there and he put candles everywhere and he photographed it. And it is incredible. You have to see the pictures. And that's my report. And we have it on Twitter under... I posted it on Ostrich Thief, but we'll try to get it on Wolfman 47 also.
Yeah. I got it right there. I'm gonna. Okay, what I'll do is I'll retweet that. I'll quote the tweet, and I'll put hashtag 47talk right now.
All right. It's amazing.
Hashtag 47talk. I'm getting good at this. Oh yeah, the Wolfman.
The photographer put candles.
It's in there, baby. It's on Twitter for you. Yeah.
He put candles all over it like they did in the day. So you get to see what it looks like. Okay. I mean, it looks like an underground church.
It worked. You were on there. Okay. Hey, we're going to give shout-outs to Paranormal Kitty from Twitter. She's going to be an upcoming guest. So that's going to be awesome. And oh, yeah. What a catch. And this one today, too, who we have on is an amazing catch for a guest. I don't think she's done radio before, but like, you know, the way I get guests, I like people that are the underdog. I want somebody very talented that has not been heard very much. So I did it again, and I found an amazing guest for you people. And her name is Ruth Lyra, and she's an energy healer. And she does psychic readings. She's very positive, and she's from the Yukon in Canada, I believe. And hang on. I'm not going to wait any longer. I don't think we should wait. What do you think, Darren?
No. We have to get her on here right now.
Oh, wait a minute.
What about Dennis?
That's right. Hang on. I screwed up. We have to introduce Dennis, the other co-host, first. Yes. Dennis, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Darren. I'm here, Mike. Thank you for having me.
I'm
looking forward to speaking.
And since you're an occasional new co-host, I'd like you to introduce yourself a little bit about yourself. I know this guy lives next to me. Basically, he's in Oakville. I'm in Guelph, Ontario. So we're like practically around the corner. We haven't met each other yet, but we will one day go out for a beer or something. But tell us a little bit about yourself, Dennis.
I'm also I work in energy. This is what I do. I don't put a label on myself. I resonate with a lot of what you do here, and
positive frequency, positive vibrations.
Yeah, I'm not unfamiliar with this territory.
Do you wear pyramid tinfoil hats and meditate in your backyard like me? Just wondering.
Well, this is the first time I've met Ruth, and so I'm not gonna, make fun on this, but I do a lot of things to ground myself.
You can make fun of me though for wearing tinfoil hats and meditating in my backyard with tinfoil pyramid hats.
Oh, hey, listen, I meditate all the time, but it's not with the tin hat in my head.
Why?
It's something else in my head.
Man, you gotta try it. It's awesome.
Yeah, and it takes a little time for it to go from my blood system into my brain.
It actually has to be really done properly. You have to make your hat on a scale model from the Great Pyramid of Giza for it to work properly. And where the King's Chamber is, that has to rest like about where the top of your head sits inside the hat. There actually is a science to this.
Ruth, what do you think of the pyramid?
Hang on.
hat?
I didn't introduce her yet.
Yeah, sorry.
Hang on, Ruth. We got to do this. The guest intro. Come on. Ruth Lyra, you are the next guest on Monster Castle Paranormal Radio. Come on down. All right. Ruth, are you there?
I'm here.
Right
Thanks
on.
for having me.
I can dig it. So,
What do you?
everybody give a warm hand of applause for Ruth Lyra.
Welcome.
All right, yeah. Yeah.
Welcome, Ruth.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you so much for coming on with us on unexpected like this, Ruth. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure to be here.
Oh, it's due to my screwed up schedule that we had to do this, but what the heck? I got some cool people on with us, and hey, tell us about yourself. How did this all start, and how did you first find your abilities?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. Well, I quit my government job because that didn't feel like what I should do anymore, and I started taking energy healing trainings, specifically Healing Touch, mostly out of curiosity at the time, because I had so many people say they'd taken the training and it was great. And I just kept going and going, taking the trainings all the way up. And eventually, just tons of new techniques started to download for me. I just saw how to go into the cells, go into the energy fields, go into the past life, go into the afterlife. And I just started to develop all these techniques that were coming to me. I have an office in my house in the country, and people drive out and come see me here. But also I realized that, the energy isn't shooting out of my hand. It's not when you're with me, like the energy that's healing you is coming out of my hand. It's just that I'm thinking about you. That also came from, hundreds and hundreds of hours of meditating. And so I started working with people all over the world, which I just find like amazing. Like I'm in the wilderness here in the Yukon, from behind my house, it's 600 kilometers before you hit another road. There's moose and fox and lynx in my backyard. And then I get to talk to people in Norway, Australia, the States, all over the world every day. So, it's pretty fantastic. Hello?
No, that's awesomeness, Ruth.
Yeah.
I envy you.
Well, I really think what's happening is that, I think you guys know this. It's part of the show you're doing that we're going through a shift. I think we're going through a shift from being very industrial thinking beings.
Shift happens, man. Yeah, shift happens.
Exactly. From being real thinking beings to being more sensing beings.
Mm-hmm.
And so more and more people are realizing that they have sensing abilities. And so besides doing individual sessions with people, I run something called the Self-Healing Community. I have a member website that you can go in, and I have all types of meditations, and I have every live call I've ever done. And really, basically, I just want to kind of be a facilitator, help you kind of plant the seed to how to come into more of your ability to sense your own energy and do healing work with yourself. You know, a lot of that comes from, I think we all know it, the frustration with the medical world. I have nothing against conventional medicine.
I
It's
do.
just another form of energy.
I actually have big problems with it.
Oh,
Huge problems with the medical industry today. I think it's a piece of shit, and
okay.
I think they hurt
Well,
people, and they do strange, sick experiments, and it's brutal. And I would say,
Tell us how you really feel, Wolfman. Don't beat around
Yeah.
the
all
bush.
right, I think it's
yeah, I'm worried you're holding back here.
what the hell's the word? I'm looking for a certain word. Damn, it's not brutal. It's worse.
Well,
No,
you
I
know,
hear you.
okay, Mike, I'm gonna.
Dennis,
Okay,
do you know what word
okay.
I'm trying to get at here?
Yeah, I know the word. It's not really a word, but what it is. Okay, like I've got to go see this and that and the other thing, and this and that and the other thing.
Barbaric.
And
That's
they want
it.
to take
Barbaric.
pills, take me pills, this and the thing. And it's like blah. It's like, all right, okay. When do I get frustrated enough where they get pissed off? Well, I got to look at what is in front of me and what I have to deal with and what I can make of it. All right. Other than that, I can't stress it. I can't, I can't do nothing of it, right? Because I've already done as much as I could, right? And so that's it. And if somebody say, "Oh, you could do this," and I said, "All right, well, I could have, and I didn't." So I'm not complaining. Anyway, sorry, that's my story.
Well,
And,
basically, what I
okay,
started to
Ruth.
see with the medical industry is
Yeah.
that they're not actually offering healing.
What about
They're offering
okay,
diagnosis and prognosis,
and
maybe
drugs
take a
that
pill.
keep you stupid, and dentists wreck your teeth, and they take your money, and you're just a number of money, and they just try to get you in and out and make as much money as they can, and they don't give a shit about you and give you any personal time anymore unless you get a really good doctor. Maybe
I
up there in
understand
the
the system.
maybe up there
I
in
hear
the
you.
Yukon.
Well, what I do in my work is I have a conversation with whatever client I'm working with to hear really what their priorities are. What I say is that all sessions with me are self-manifestation. I am just a manifestation of the client and of whatever healing you've asked for, you've prayed for. And so I ask the client to tell me change are you looking to make? What are you looking to do? And then I just go wherever I need to go. So I might need to go into the energy field. I might need to go into the chakra, into a past life, into the afterlife, into early childhood. And we just go wherever we need to go to find what block needs to be released.
I believe Darren had a question.
Well, I
Yeah.
wanted to start with how you ended up in the Yukon, Ruth. You
Oh.
grew up in Toronto?
I grew up in Toronto, right downtown. And I just, I had this dream to organic farm. I just desperately wanted to be on an organic farm. And I bought a one-way ticket west. I told my parents I'm leaving and I'm never coming back. I might have broke their hearts more than a little.
At 18?
At 18. And then I ended up meeting up with a friend and I bought this standby ticket to the Yukon. And then I ended up in I call it the Garden of Eden. It's actually in Atlan, BC, and it's a warm springs. It's like a natural warm springs that comes out of the land. And I ended up living in a teepee there. I mean, I didn't know anything. Like there were bears there. I was like there by myself. Like I didn't know what had happened to me. And then I ended up getting stranded on the lake with the man who's now been my life partner for 21 years.
Where did you meet him? At the hot springs?
He was living. We were at the warm springs, and I was living in a teepee, and he was living in a wall tent. And we ended up out on this crazy boat trip, and we got stranded at the O'Donnell River. And I moved from the teepee to the wall tent a few days later, and we've been together since. We're now closer to the White Horse, and we own 15 acres, and we built our own passive solar house. It uses we put in a 12 kilowatt solar system this summer, so we actually make more energy than we use now.
Wow.
And kind of live the homesteading, Yukon dream. And now, because I run this business, from my house too, I'm just kind of out here in the woods.
What did you do for money when you were like 18 and you guys, how were you able to buy the property?
We bought the property later. We came and went. We bought the property in, I guess 2003. I don't know. I had some savings. I had some money. And we were just living in a tent. So life was pretty cheap.
Were you afraid when you moved, when you just left?
I wasn't. I know I wasn't afraid. It was really exciting. I was a little afraid, sometimes when I was like alone in the teepee and realized that there like are wild animals around. I just felt so grateful, to be honest, so grateful.
How far north is that, or how far
Yes,
away from Toronto?
where I am now, just outside of Whitehorse, this is 6,000 kilometers from Toronto, or 3,000 kilometers north of Vancouver.
Wow.
No, it's big. Like the Yukon is like the size of Texas, I'd say, and has 35,000 people living in it.
Can you tell us about your house and what it's like now?
The house is really beautiful. The house is interesting. It was very traumatizing building the house. My partner milled all the lumber himself, 3 logging truckloads of lumber, and then he timber framed it all himself and put it up himself. It's insulated with 12,000 pounds of sheep's wool that all had to by hand be put into the cellulose blower. It was a humongously physically, emotionally, financially demanding job.
When was this?
We've been in for about 3.5 years now. It's not finished yet, but we spent 5 years on it. Well, we also had small kids who I was homeschooling at the same time.
Oh my goodness.
We moved into the house, and I just resented like the hell out of it. It had taken all the money, all the time. And then eventually my partner made me a beautiful office in the basement where I am now talking to you. And one day I just had this epiphany where I realized it's like the house that actually allows me to do this healing work. It is so grounding. I'm just surrounded by rock and wood and sheep's wool. And then I have this land around me. Like I live in the hamlet of Mount Lorne, and right across from me, like if I look out my window on the east side, I'm looking at Mount Lorne, a beautiful mountain, and I use that mountain. Like when I'm doing healing work on someone, there'll be so much trauma, I'll just like use the weight of the mountain, or I'll use the land and the willows and the fresh air in the woods to kind of move the energy. So I think it's really important because when I'm working with someone in like Calcutta or Chicago or New York, they're in such congested, heavy energy. I'm bringing just so much natural energy to the healing process. It kind of magnifies it. So I had this epiphany where I realized the house hadn't stopped me from living my life purpose. Actually, the house has helped me and helped me be able to do what I do in my life now.
So I have to ask you a question. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Dennis.
No, I have to ask you a question, Ruth. Isn't that so such a commodity per se? The nature of the environment that you're around, where that you can ground so deeply, right? Where that you're not subjected to all the trauma within the city and the hustle and the bustle and the crap, right? And you can connect more freely, more flowingly within the energy of the universe.
I believe that we have that capability to connect with wherever we are. But yeah, I agree. Like when I go back to Toronto, I find it very difficult to ground. And so I make very purposeful choices to like go for walks, in a ravine or to go to the lake. We all need to take the time to be in tune with ourselves and notice, okay, when this happens, I get thrown off. When this happens, I come back. And I don't want us to be scared of the world. So we don't go through the world like, ooh, I can't be around those people. I might get thrown off. We're more resilient than that, right?
Right.
But
So
we can also make choices and be like, okay, I know to be my best person in the world, I need self-care. And when I spend time in nature, it brings me back. So I'm going to make that a priority.
okay, I got to ask you a question then, Ruth. As you mentioned this, if I was a Torontonian, living close to the subway, where I have to do the 15-mile subway trip in a sardine can on the subway, every 5 days a week, whatever. So like I become like a armadillo, where that I develop this hardened case or this shell, right around me, where that if I'm free and clear of all this trauma and restrictions, where that I become. Someone would say this, I'm being devil's advocate, Ruth, where that someone would say that you become more soft and where that you become more subjected to the harsh realities of this 3D construct, just, where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I think what I'm hearing, for me, it's all about the heart and the heart center. And I'm just hearing the most beautiful opportunity here. We're all vibrational beings. and everything's a vibrational match. And so in each moment, we have a choice what vibration to bring to the situation. And so, yes, we're on the subway and we're around people that have pain and suffering and trauma. And if we are a little sensitive, we notice this. And in that moment, we can make a choice to become more of a clear channel and a higher vibration. And we're actually basically being a subway healer. You know, we're actually giving everybody a little gift. And so, you know, we were talking about meditation jokingly earlier, but the more we come by ourselves and we practice being a clear channel, we practice being high vibrational when we're alone and we feel safe and everything's nice and cozy and loving. And then we take that skill we practiced and we bring it out into the world, right? It's like the monk needs to go from the mountain to the city. So it's not about hiding out. It's about developing skills and then bringing them to the challenging situations.
Thank you.
Ruth, what's the first step to doing that if you're like me?
A sensitive and an empathic? Yeah, it's not easy. Sorry.
No. What can I do?
What's so cool is, you know, in some ways my journey's been from more conventional to more metaphysical. And so part of my journey started with studying mindfulness meditation, like the Jon Kabat-Zinn technique, where he's taken like Buddhist meditation and brought it, for people with anxiety or chronic pain. And so the first step is we really need to realize that we're not our thoughts. You know, like our thoughts are just this flow that go through, but we need to learn how not to align with them. And so really, I think the first step is mindfulness meditation. And so to me, you work with the breath at the nostrils. That's the point of awareness I prefer. And you basically do 5 minutes of meditation every day. And you sit in a comfortable position. It doesn't have to be on the floor cross-legged. It could just be like on a chair or whatever. And you get caught up in your thoughts. You're thinking about your day, your meeting, what you're going to have for dinner, your worries, your 5 years in the future, your 5 years in the past. And then you notice, oh, I'm thinking. And then you steer your attention back to the breath at the nostrils and you really focus on the breath at the nostrils. Then about 5 seconds later or 1 second later, you're back off in your thoughts. Then you steer it back to the nostrils. You're back off in your thoughts.
Ruth, do you do like deep stomach breathing where you first fill the bottom of your lungs and then the top? And then
that's a yoga pranayama practice. It's not one I teach, but I just want to go back to this steering back to the nostrils. What you are doing when you're steering back to the nostrils is you are becoming in control of your life. You are choosing where you put your attention. Do you see? Wherever we put our attention, that's the most powerful. So the most powerful thing we can do is learn how to choose. Where is my attention now? Where do I want my attention? In every moment. So let's go back to the subway. You're sitting on the subway and you're just like, damn, I gotta be on this subway and it's so negative and I hate it. And then you stop and you go, do I want my attention in that negative space? No, I don't. Where would I like my attention? Oh, I'd rather notice my vibration. I'd rather notice my breath. This is how we become very powerful, by in every moment making the choice, where do I want my attention? But it's a practice. You have to spend some time practicing it. And so, yeah, you could do a pranayama practice, like certain breath work and stuff like that. It's very powerful. But I think the most powerful thing is to become in control of our life. Where is my attention now? Where do I want my attention? And then that is where my energy healing comes from. Because now that I can choose where to put my attention, I can put my attention on an energy field. I can put my attention to vibration. It's just becoming someone who's able to steer their attention.
Do you meditate in the morning when you first get up?
Oh gosh, I'm like the least disciplined person on the planet.
So am I.
I'm so erratic. And so what I tell my students is that you should work with your temperament, not against it. And so my temperament, like if I was to say I'm going to meditate every day at this time, I would probably make it 2 days, then fail, and then feel like a big failure, and then just criticize myself. So my temperament's like more erratic. So I basically just work with being erratic. So I meditate when I meditate, sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, sometimes on my walks. When I remember to do it, I do it. Like if I think right now I want to meditate, then I just like run and do it. And that's how I do it personally.
So you kind of empty your mind and decide on what to focus on.
Oh, you don't empty your mind. Your mind's going to get wilder. Your mind's going to get wilder and crazier and busier.
Yeah,
Really?
Darren and Ruth, may I just
Please.
add something, please?
Yes.
Right. When it comes to
ahead,
meditation,
Jeff.
my parents say I meditate, but I call it just processing.
Okay.
And I'll process daily events, right? See, I find this very, very important to process 3D event, where that it does not disturb my dream time, okay? Because my subconscious will get into my dream time and I have to process then. So I'll process at any available time. It could be in the shower for 7 to 10 minutes. It could be when I get home from work for half an hour to 2 hours, just sitting there. I'm not humming and ohing, nothing like that. I'm processing daily events. It could be the daily events. See, this is why I try not to have. This is why I try to let things go and process. So where that is not something I'm holding on to from a month or 2 weeks or a week ago. This is daily. And when I process them, see, what I'm doing is I'm figuring what could have happened, what didn't happen. It's just shoulda, coulda, woulda syndrome, right? And it's like, okay, what needs to be done tomorrow? What needs to be addressed? Okay, and so I have that already in my brain. I already got an agenda. I already have things sorted out, right? Where then I don't have to go to sleep at night and think about these things because they really interrupt with my sleep patterns. With where and again, I'm sure you still understand in regards to where it comes to multidimensional, astral traveling, if you want to call it out-of-body experience, whatever like that. When you're stuck in dream time, a lot of times if you don't process this 3D distraction, then you're stuck. And then you work it over, and sure, it does work, right? Where that you wake up and you'll figure a few things out, right? Which you were trying to process, which you didn't quite get through the night before. That's all good, but I find it very helpful to process, meditate, whatever. And again, like Ruth was mentioning, you could be jogging, you could be walking, you could be, you could be, just sitting in a chair, and just staring. You're just thinking about days events. This is for me, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about days events, how things could have went, how things did go, and how things could have went. And again, it's and the next day, and what needs to be done in a manner, in an order. Which makes sense, right, for all parties and individuals involved. So where that it doesn't cause any more drama, doesn't cause any more friction, doesn't cause any more chaos, right? Because you already got it planned out for the day the next that you go, right? Some people call this energy manipulation. Some people call it reality creation, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's processing, right? So that you're not hung up in yesterday, right?
What do you think of that, Ruth? Is that pretty accurate?
Well, meditation's one of those concepts that has lots of opinions, which I think is so awesome. I think it's so great that we have so many teachings and so many options. What Dennis is talking about is the same thing I was saying, that basically it is choosing where you want to put your attention. So in this case, Dennis is making a choice to put his attention on processing his day. Okay. And so that's one choice. What I tell my students is that only you know what you want to cultivate. Like in Dennis's situation, he can correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like what he wants to cultivate is a clearing of the past, to keep him clearer for his dream life and for his present, and he's finding that technique works. So I tell my students that you need to know what you want to cultivate in yourself, and then you try different meditation techniques and see if that brings what you want. For me, it's about really connecting that you're not your mind. We are something way more eternal. We're a soul that's way more eternal than this little mundane, everyday stuff that goes in our mind. And the more we can kind of come away from the mind and connect with this bigger energy, it just opens up so many more choices, so many more options. I mean, we're always going to have our neurotic temperaments, but it's nice within that to feel like we can touch into something larger, something more collective.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was mentioning, Ruth, is that we're not trapped within 3D distraction, where that we connect to our higher multidimensional being. Because as humans, we are becoming into the remembrance of where we came from, right? So when we get distracted within this chaos, within this drama and everything within 3D, we can't connect to that higher vibrational energy per se. That's what I was trying to.
You put it really beautifully there, Dennis. I'd like to suggest that I actually think you can. I like to say that the abundance of our life is in the mundane. Mm-hmm. So then the next step is to see that when we're in conflict, when we're heartbroken, when we're doing dishes, when we're impatient and irritated, can we also connect into the eternal nature of that kind of mundane moment too?
Yeah, I don't think our abundance is wrapped up within this mundane. I think our abundance is free from this 3D construct mundaneness per se. And it's our being able to connect to that and being in remembrance of that, where that we came from.
Well, I'll challenge that. I'll suggest that you play with that. I'd like to hear back. Try it. When you're in conflict or when you're doing dishes or you're waiting in a line.
Oh, yeah.
And just see in that moment if you can just drop in and see what energy's offered to you.
Oh, yeah. I do it all the time, Ruth.
Okay.
Ruth, I was thinking about that mountain by your house.
Oh.
What's it called?
Lord Mountain.
How do you use that to tap into the energy? I'm a little confused about it.
Well, that's a great question. What I find in my clients, and you can probably relate to this, is that we have a lot of trauma. We have a lot of trauma in our systems. It's past life trauma, it's this life trauma, it's yesterday's trauma, it's early childhood trauma. And actually, it really connects to what Dennis was saying. It's really beautiful the way he put it. But yes, we do a lot of processing. We'll do yoga or we'll do counseling. We bring that trauma out of the subconscious and we bring it to the surface, which is really important. But where a lot of people start to feel stuck and bogged down is they've brought it to the surface, but it's still actually in the energy field. And so I work on 7 layers of the energy field that correspond with the chakras. And I just find that there's so much to move and I have to stay focused. And so what I do is I count Mount Lorne size worth of trauma, if that makes sense. And so it keeps me focused. So I'll be like 100 mountains, 200 mountains. And mostly I go up sometimes to like 900 million or a billion. And I'm just like, instead of trying to pick out one little like finger-sized trauma, I'm picking out like Mount Lorne size. And I kind of look at the mountain and hold the vision of it and move all of that out of the field. And then when I'm moving it out of the field, I'm just really, it's a big compost system. So I'm just transmuting it out the window back into neutral energy.
What do you think about dreams like Dennis is talking about?
Gosh, there's some areas that I'm very ignorant, and I would say the dream world is one of those areas that I'm just really not that knowledgeable.
What was the first thing when you first moved up there? How did you get into this?
No, I didn't get into this when I moved up here. Before I came up here, I was doing a lot of meditating, a lot of yoga. I had just come back from Thailand, where I discovered Buddhism, and that had changed my entire worldview. And I kind of made a decision that my whole life would be dedicated to the spiritual.
What?
I then came up here, met my partner, and went the opposite way. I went to college. I went to university.
So, did you go to Thailand before you moved to the Yukon?
Yeah, I went to Thailand when I was 17, before I moved to the Yukon.
How long were you over there?
I was on a Canada World Youth Exchange, and I was there for 3 months, living with a family, cutting rice, living in a village.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I kind of had like a big spiritual breakdown because I had grown up Jewish. And then
really?
I discovered, and so then and I'd had a bat mitzvah and everything. And then I discovered Buddhism in Thailand, and suddenly everything I knew about religion kind of collapsed. Buddhism just changed it. It was like, how can there be one God for one people? Buddhism's just saying, here's a universal truth and some guidance. Use it or don't use it, but like, here's kind of a roadmap if you want it. And actually, the friend who I discovered Buddhism with went back to Thailand and was a monk for 17 years. That's another story I should tell sometime, because I found him after 17 years of him being a monk. And I flew to see him, and he was like, I've been waiting for you to tell you everything I learned as a monk in Thailand.
So he just stayed there?
He came back, and then he went back and became a monk and stayed like in the jungle there for all those years.
Oh man, Wolfgang, can we move into this story? Do we have time? How long are we on, Wolfgang?
Actually, we're coming up towards our half-hour break, but keep continuing for now. We still have 5 more minutes.
Okay.
But this is groovy, man. You guys are doing awesome. I'm just listening, and I'm just spellbound here.
Ruth, I kind of want to hear about
really,
your monk friend. What's his name?
I was thinking between you and Dennis, I really can't get a word in edgewise. So
sorry,
I'd have to do one of those. But go ahead.
Just give me a bonk and I'll shut up if you want.
Did you hear that?
I heard the bonk.
Okay. If you hear this...
Ow! Stop it!
Oh, sorry. Okay. Go ahead.
So, I guess let me ask this. You went to Thailand. You were experiencing Buddhism, and then you moved back home. How did that go with your parents?
Well, yeah, they're maybe still recovering 21 years later.
Are you still in contact with them?
Yeah. My mom
Okay.
My mom will be here next week. She comes up to visit a lot. Yeah.
Oh, good. So you came back and you said, I think I want a little change in my life, and you felt like you had to leave the house, huh?
Yeah, I basically went and meditated one day and was just like, oh my God, I'm out of here. And I just really wanted to go organic farm. I wanted to be a nun. I wanted to go be a Buddhist nun. And I just kind of felt like, well, I'm 18. Maybe I'll just start with some organic farming and see how it goes.
What does being a Buddhist nun have to do with being an organic farmer?
No, that's a great question. Life's so weird, huh? I just really needed that earth energy. It was just so healing to be right in the soil. Kind of composting and soil is a big part of my journey. It's informed me a lot with how energy works. We can learn a lot from just watching how plants grow and how soil rejuvenates itself. I think it's very similar to how our own systems work.
I didn't know there were Buddhist nuns. I know there's monks.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a kind of tricky issue. Definitely not in every culture is it honored or respected, but there are Buddhist nuns, yes.
Oh yeah, there definitely has to be. Didn't you watch Doctor Strange? The female monk was the most powerful of all of them because she.
Really?
Yeah. You didn't watch Doctor Strange, the Marvel? Oh, it's great. It actually, a lot of things in that movie are pretty real. Doctor Strange is actually quite a real possibility for an actual superhero. Besides all the, the cloak and all that stuff and everything, but there is a guy.
The cloak was cool. I like that.
I was listening to this guy. I think. Oh man, I'm not sure what his name, but it's on the Fringe, KTLK, thefringe.fm. It's on our network, and there's a show been repeating. I think it's the daytime guy with somebody who they call the real life Doctor Strange, and he was trained as a military soldier using psychedelics like mushrooms and that, and they developed superhuman abilities to not only withstand pain but do superhuman abilities. I can go into this, but you would never believe me.
Do you know anything about that, Ruth?
Sorry, no, I don't know anything about Doctor Strange.
Oh, okay.
No,
I'm just saying
human abilities with
through my martial arts training that I've done.
Yeah, that's how I got interested in the first place, because I read a book about Tibetan monks who could teleport, and they were basically saying that we use such a small percentage of our brain that we don't even know our capabilities. And that is one of the things that really got me interested in meditating, and it is what I have seen with energy healing, that we spend so much time just thinking about what am I going to have for dinner, or is that person mad at me, and it's so kind of just small that we're not even using nearly the capability we have in our system if we were able to steer away from that type of thing.
Wow. I wish I could go to Thailand and watch some of these monks.
You can. Why not? You could go. You should go.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
The only thing I know is from the movies. The Golden Child.
Well, travel's great. Travel's great for. I just got back from Costa Rica yesterday, and travel's really great for kicking us out of our comfort zone and seeing things from a different perspective.
Did you take your children?
Yeah, we went. I have some friends that used to live in the Yukon. A friend who's a healer. She's an amazing healer, actually. And the 4 of them are living in Costa Rica now, so we went to visit them for a couple weeks.
Okay, we got Angry Bong in the chat room, and we got Moog Boy, and we got Ronald. Wow, they all come out. There's Debbie. There's who else is here? Eric.
Any
Wow,
questions?
man, we got
I have a question.
I have something here from wait a minute from Angry Bong, and I don't understand this. He says the Bible talks of mud people. Now I do a song called Return of the Mud People, but I just kind of made that up when I was on a mushroom trip when I was 16. I'm wondering what the hell is he talking about? What's the Bible talks of mud people? Anybody know that?
Ruth?
No, I don't know. Old Testament, New Testament?
I have no idea. I didn't know that the Bible talked of mud people. But it's kind of freaking me out because I actually wrote a song when I was 16 called Return of the Mud People. And I don't know where that's coming from, but either he's psychic and he's reading my mind, or he's heard my Mud People song, or yeah, it's freaking me out.
Let's find out during the break.
But it's like a synchronicity, right? Yeah, so we're going to go, oh man, I hope he fills me in on this because I'm going to be curious all day. Where did he come up with that? Because I thought I was the only one that talked about mud people. Wow. Okay,
Dennis, save your question for after the break here.
All right, yeah, I was saving it for after the break. Monster Castle Paranormal. This is, Monster Truck. Monster Truck from Hamilton, Ontario. This song is called Psychics.
I know, we want a revolution.
baby. Woo! Yeah. It's Wolfman. Mike. From Monster Castle Paranormal. Right. Yeah. I've got some, aliens, I guess. Their heads are blowing up in the backyard here. There goes another one. Oh, there goes another. Oh, that blew up pretty good. This is KTLK Digital Broadcasting, and you are listening to thefringe.fm. Yeah, fantastic, baby. Can you dig it? All right.
This is Jeff the Gray, co-host of Monster Castle Paranormal Radio on the KTLK Digital Broadcasting Network, thefringe.fm.
It's driving me nuts.
This is the Monster Castle Paranormal Radio Show. We explore the paranormal phenomenon with researchers and skeptics from all walks of life and beyond. Fridays and Saturdays, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, on KTLK Digital Broadcasting Network, thefringe.fm. Visit our website at monstercastleparanormal.com.
Alright, yeah. Can you dig it? Fantastic. It's your invitation to avoid the nauseation, frustration, desolation, mutilation, degradation. We like to rock, and this is a donation station. Yeah, baby. Go to monstercastleparanormal.com and donate today. Keep us rocking, man.
Dig it, baby. All right. This is Wolfman. We are back on Monster Castle Paranormal Radio. All right. Oh, boy. This is a great show. The way I jumped in this afternoon, because if anyone's listening and they didn't know why, it's because Wolfman got called into mandatory overtime at the factory again. So that's why we are coming on early, and also tomorrow night we're having an author that writes about Bigfoot. His partner writes true stories, and he writes fiction based on true stories, but his partner can't make it, so we're just going to do half a show, and Ruth will be back on tomorrow night for everybody, and I can't wait, because then we're going to have open lines, and we will do that today too. So if anyone's listening, but I know you guys weren't expecting this, but we are going to open up lines, and you can call in, and I believe Ruth is willing to give some psychic readings, aren't you, hon?
Well, sure. What I do is I do like a chakra reading. So I basically like work with clairsentience. So the way someone would work with clairvoyance, that they see energy, I sense energy, mostly with my hands. And so we have 7 major chakras, and so I can do like a chakra reading, where I can just like, spin through somebody's 7 chakras and like give them a little sense of what's going on and some suggestions.
So you don't have to be there in the room with them, though?
No.
Oh,
Sounds good. Yeah, I'd like to ask Ruth when she's available.
Go ahead, Dennis.
Oh, Mike asked me to hold on. Oh no, Darren, you asked me to hold on to a question for Ruth after the break.
Well, you said you had one. So
yeah. So I'd like to ask you, Ruth, where do you see, or what do you see, in regards to human consciousness within the near future, not too distant future, but within the near. Like in regards to how it's shifting, like you mentioned, shift.
Sure. The basic premise of my work, I'd say on an individual level or on a collective consciousness global level, like you're talking about, is infinite possibility. So we're basically open to infinite possibility at all times, but nothing is fated. Nothing's for sure. It's all, well, it segues back to what we were talking about. It's all where we choose to put our attention, right? So to me, I see the big shift being, a shift from the masculine to the feminine. And I don't see this as, just one sec. I don't see this as man or woman, right? We each have masculine and feminine within us. And so we've been in this very masculine kind of industrial, get things done, kind of end goal type of time. And it's brought a lot of good things. It's brought a lot of really cool things. And it's brought some things that aren't working so well. And so I see the shift coming into more of this feminine, more of this sensing, but also like a feminine power, a real kind of organizational getting things done. But then on the other end, a real masculine nurturance. That, like, I just think like the masculine nurturing energy is one of the most beautiful energies there is, that type of like father love energy. And so it's each, it's the individual and the collective. So it's each individual being able to come into their masculine nurturing and their feminine power, and then coming into that on a global level. And I think from that place, we could do some really cool things in terms of where we go as a planet.
No, when you mentioned this, Ruth, okay, I'd just like to add on this, and if you would rebut, that would be awesome. Is where that, the men were the hunter-gatherers, the women were the nurturers and the providers. Well, not providers, but the ones that, made sure that things were in order, back in the day. And still, men go out and make the dough, back in, late 1800s, whatever. It doesn't matter, timelines. But yeah, it was always seen as though that the men would bring the money, but the women would but for that which they would upkeep the home, where the man could, go, right, and to sustain, right. So if it wasn't for women, men would fall. So yeah, that being said, that wasn't really the question, or the maybe I posed my question incorrectly, because we're that in the okay, I'm going to go woo here, down the rabbit hole. We're that in the higher dimensions or higher, outside of this 3D, 4D, forget 4D. That's dumbness. Sorry, and I'll go back to that if you wish. Is where that it's not gender. There is no gender. It's all energy based. So when what I was trying to get to, Ruth, is where that we are collective. Okay, and a friend mentioned to me hive mind, which was a negative. She brought on whatever. That's her perception. Is where that when we are energy based, we are pure energy. Just this here and now, we happen to be, in the physical form. Is where that there is no friction. Everything is where that there is no bias. There is no.
There's no gender?
There is no gender.
What do you think of that, Ruth?
Whew, okay, we're talking on a lot of different levels here at the same time. I think the real goal of being a human, the real goal of making this choice to incarnate into human form, is to integrate the embodiment of body and spirit. And I think that is unbelievably, incredibly difficult. I think we are up for the challenge. And so, yes, in one aspect, we can go into that place where we are just energy, we are just light, and that is true. But it is also completely true that we are a body, that we live in a body, and we have a body to care for, and that body has parts to it that in our society are called a certain gender. And so I think, what Dennis is touching on that's so beautiful is this integration of the individual and the collective. So where do we make the change as a collective? We make it by doing the inner work, and then by bringing that higher vibration we create from the inner work out to the collective. And so it's holding that feeling of nothing and everything at the same time. And this is not something we can articulate very well in words. Words are unbelievably inadequate to this experience. It is something experiential. And that's why in my self-healing community, I take people every week through a meditation. This isn't something we can talk about. This isn't something we can cognitively process. We are experiential beings, and we need to come into the experience of embodying the body and the spirit together.
Thank you.
How do you go about doing your meditations? Like if I wanted to do one of your meditations, how would I do that?
So what the meditations basically are is visualization and intention. So what's so cool is that our intention is so powerful. And so like a general meditation I do often is just clearing old stagnant energy. And so we essentially, take some deep breaths, come into a bit of a centered position, and then we set the intention that all old stagnant energy no longer needed is clearing from our system. And then we visualize it. We see that like gray energy moving out of our system. And of course we have doubt, and of course we have cynicism and skepticism, but we have to just bypass that. We have to just override it and just realize that intention is powerful. And if we're setting the intention for something to happen to our energy, then that's what's happening. And so people can go on my website, ruthlira.com, and I have a 7-day free trial, and I have a live call archive, and I have every energy healing live call I've ever done on there, and people can go and take a listen for free and see if they like it. And then essentially it's a monthly subscription to be part of my program. And every Wednesday night at 6 o'clock Pacific time, I do an informational talk, and then I do a live meditation. You get comfortable in your own home and you do the meditation. They're very powerful. And then we do a little question and answer period.
So you lead a big group online?
Yeah, I lead a big group on a teleconference. Yeah, every Wednesday night.
Oh, cool. How many people do you have?
Yeah, I have a couple dozen.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, I just started that program in September. So we're just building, and I built a whole new website in January that has this like member site. So you need like a username and password, but you can sign up for the 7-day free trial and try it free for 7 days. And that means you get like one live call for free and see what you think.
I better start requesting Wednesdays off.
Oh, also, I record the calls. So if you miss the call, then I email it to all the members and all the free trial members that night. And the report I'm getting from my students is that they find the recording just as powerful as doing it live with me. They don't notice a difference.
That's really good. I do tarot card readings live for people too sometimes, and I get some pretty amazing results just over Skype with people.
Exactly, because it's no different, right? You know this. It's no different. If you're sitting with a person or you're thinking about a person, the whole thing is you're just thinking about them. This is the part of realizing how powerful our mind is.
I have to ask you a question, Ruth.
Wait a sec. Can I just ask her one first? Ruth, have you ever used tarot cards, or do you delve into that?
I've had some powerful tarot readings done on me, but I'm not trained or skilled in reading the tarot myself.
Okay. So what do you use then? If you were to say, do a reading for me right now, what skill set would you use? Yeah.
I use clairsentience, just sensing, just feeling with my hands and feeling with my body.
Oh, wow. Okay. Go ahead, Dennis.
Yeah, I would like to... Oh, shit. I just lost my train.
Oh, okay. That's okay. You'll get it back. So, Ruth, when you were a child, did you have a connection with your sister or brother or anyone like your mother, like that, where you could sort of read each other's minds?
You know what's so cool is I don't think as a child I had any sense of having a psychic ability or anything than that. I think I knew I had a good sense of people. And a few years ago, I did some intuitive psychic training, and what I learned is the way to become a skilled psychic is practice. It makes sense. You just got to practice, practice, practice. You need to practice what part of the mind, what part of the information you're using. So, I mean, I always talk about these abilities as the same as playing a guitar, right? Like you just have to do it a lot. Like at first your fingers don't want to form the chord, and then you practice and you practice and you practice, and then they form it like without even thinking about it. So that's the same with our clairsentience or our psychic abilities. And so I decided that I would just try to do distant chakra readings. I just put a post on Facebook and said, who wants a free reading? I just want to see if I could do it. And so I started doing these chakra readings. People just sent me their first and last name and their email. That's all they sent me. And I would read their chakras. And it was so weird. It was like, I just felt like I was standing at a party with these people. All they gave me was their name. And it was like, I just felt like the way when I walk into a room and I'm at a party and you just kind of get a sense of people. Even though I didn't see their faces, that's what it felt like. And it felt like the way I was when I was a child. Sometimes you hear that your most authentic self, your life purpose, is who you were as a child. And I started doing these chakra readings just as an experiment. And I was like, wow, this just feels like who I always was. And then people just started writing back to me, oh my God, that was 100% accurate. How could you know that about me? And I just did hundreds of them.
Have you ever done any Kirlian photography to look at auras, or do you see auras at all?
I do. I have definitely seen auras. I have friends that see them all the time. I see them mostly like if somebody's against a white wall, then I'll see it. So I definitely have seen auras.
Oh my God, me too. That's the best way.
That's the best way. If someone's against a white wall and you're relaxed, I mean, it's really easy to see. I mean, I don't want to say easy, but it just happens. I don't see them all the time, but I see them in my head. You know, one thing I'd love to do is find like an animator who would work with me, because I see all the ways that energy moves, the way it moves up the legs and the way it swirls around the body. And I'd love to create some like, animation so that people could see how the energy's moving.
That is so groovy.
That's quite a gift to be able to do that through the phone line and through the computer, isn't it?
I'm starting to get back on my track.
Okay, nice. Go ahead, Dennis.
Yeah, I'm getting back on this. With Ruth, I was always skeptical when I was a teenager, not even a teenager yet. How can psychics read over the phone? And so I started, and like you were mentioning, I started to investigate, and I started to research, and I started to study, I started to practice. And like you were saying, for 100%. And excuse me for the phone. But yeah, what I found, Ruth, and
do not answer the phone.
Darren,
please do not answer the phone. Do not answer the phone.
Man. Sorry.
Let me that is the KGB. Do not answer the phone. No, go ahead. Keep talking. I will take care of this. Do not answer the phone.
Fuck, man. No, it's not proper, man. It's not professional. Just please.
Oh, I'm actually not sure what that was. It was
all right. It's gone. No, it's my house.
It's hilarious.
No,
I think it was a KGB.
No. It's where that what Ruth was mentioning when we. Now, I'd like to ask Ruth. For our listeners. Is for me it became a flowing. It becomes automatic. It becomes a knowing, right? It's like okay, for me it's like a movie, or I see pictures in my brain, or I just sense energy. Like Ruth does it different. She sees. She's got sight, right? I go with I feel energy, right? And it's very interesting where that it becomes a flowing. Now, Ruth, for ones that would be interested to become it more of a flowing with them, even though that they know they have that sense within them, how they can develop them within themselves.
Yeah, I mean, mostly the term I use is energy management. And so, I think we need to be very gentle with ourselves and very compassionate and realize that no one's ever taught us how to manage our own energy. This isn't like a skill anyone taught us. Mostly it's the opposite. Mostly we've been told to not be in touch with ourselves. We've been in very authoritarian environments where we've been actually told that we don't know what's best for us. And so this is a huge management skill to even learn and to even feel safe, to really connect with our own being and make
How
choices.
do we do this, though, Ruth?
Well, that's the whole program I teach. I do a call every week.
All right, well, I'm calling you.
This is what I want to teach people. This is exactly what I want to do in my program. I don't want to tell anyone how to do anything.
Oh, God.
I just want to be a guide. So I want to take you on an experience, and I want to take you on an experience into your own energy and show you how to move it around. And then I want to give you a whole bunch of skills, like 100 of different skills, how to move your energy. And then you yourself have to develop a daily self-care regimen where you take a little time and you go in and you use all those skills. So you have to ask yourself, do I have congested energy I want to clear? Am I not grounded? Do I need more earth energy? Do I want to be more open to the divine and more connected? And then I developed all these different energy management skills to help you move your energy in that direction. You have to get in the driver's seat. Nothing is fated. So each person has to get in the driver's seat and be like, I have reincarnated as a human. I am here on Earth. What do I want to do with that time? Who do I want to help? How do I want to develop? What do I want to do with my own karma? That is only your choice and only you can decide.
The thing with karma is I don't create it. I create dharma, right? Big difference.
What's the difference? What's the difference?
Karma and dharma? Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm waiting at Tim Hortons line, right? And the guy's fiddling around. 84-year-old woman's fiddling around with her purse, right? And I start beeping my horn, right? Giving her shit. Oh, creating karma. All right. No, I get out of my car and help her with the purse. As a matter of fact, I'll say, beep out and I'll pay for her order. Dharma. So it's negative, positive.
I understand what you're saying. So that's all karma. Karma isn't something negative. In every moment, we're creating karma. But in my opinion, we're not creating karma based on our action. We're creating karma based on what we're doing in our mind and heart. So even in that moment that you're helping someone, if you're thinking, oh, all those other assholes that aren't helping her, are you creating dharma or are you creating karma or whatever you call it?
If you're doing it for selfishness, for that action was ego-based, yeah, that's karma.
So in every moment, we are responsible for what we're holding in our mind and heart.
Of course we are.
And it's just such a beautiful opportunity when we start to really, connect with the preciousness of this chance to be in a human incarnation.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to get emotional, but yes.
Yeah, I know. We should get emotional. It is emotional. It's precious.
And humans are learning. This is, again, what I wanted to ask you. I'm going to say this real quick and fast, Mike. We're coming into remembrance of our multidimensional being, where we came from, all right? We're coming into a collective. We're coming into a gathering, per se, right? Some people talk about the 322,000 or whatever that number is, whatever, light workers and way showers and forerunners and this and that and the other thing. Yeah, blah, blah, right? But yeah, this is up and this is for real. So Ruth, I'd like to ask you on that, about these concepts that have been floating around the whatever communities you want to call it.
Yeah, I understand. It's not my strength. I don't know why I have such a resistance to really kind of tapping into the collective consciousness. But I'd be insufficient to say that I'm knowledgeable on what's happening on the collective level.
All right, I'm just saying, okay, Ruth, to bring it down, we are sovereign within ourselves. We are independent. See this? Okay, I'm going to try to say this real fast. Ego brings us individuality, brings us personality, brings us our uniqueness as being human. But yet we are still part source core conscious energy, right? That's undeniable. And
Nobody can hear me, but we're gonna do a break in a second.
okay,
You announce it. Say Mike's gonna sing karaoke for you.
all right, Mike's going to sing karaoke in a second, Ruth.
Karaoke.
But Ruth, it's just that a lot of I don't know how to say this, Ruth. You know, you're I really love your energy, okay? And you know I work energy as well, okay? And I've been doing this for quite some time too, and it's not my first time around this block, right? And I just really appreciate you sharing with our fellow humans of your knowledge, right? And your time that you have to give to them. Okay. And I really thank you and appreciate you for that. So, okay.
So do we. Hey,
Thank
Ruth.
Thank you, Dennis. That was really beautiful.
We're gonna have another break right now, and this is Wolfman.
Is it really a karaoke break?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna actually sing
I hope so.
because you guys were talking about
goodness.
karma. So I pulled up this song that applies to that, and I hope everyone enjoys it. I'm gonna sing it for you, and you guys can have a break, and I'm gonna keep going since you pretty much didn't give me a chance to talk at all.
Sorry, Wolfman.
That's
But
all
now
right.
we get the karaoke reward.
That's right. Now you get the karaoke reward. Here we go. I listen to you now.
Wolfman style. Oh, wow. Groovy. I dig it. Dig it, baby. Oh, yeah.
Well, Igor made me do that one. So, there you go. He said they said Carmel. If you want to talk to Igor, I'll let him tell you why I did that. Do you want to talk to Igor?
Yeah, bring him out.
Okay. Hang on. Igor, come.
Oh boy.
Yes, master. I told Wolfman to put the song on because you said karma. And I remembered that I like to use that song when I'm doing dissections on the bodies. I don't know why. I dance.
You dance while you cut up the bodies?
Yes, and I do dissections in the dungeon. Electrocuted people. Actually, I know that Wolfman does not like me in the studio because I stink a little bit because I just don't ever bathe and I just play with dead bodies in the dungeon.
Well, why don't you go back downstairs and finish your work?
I don't have anything to do right now. Actually, I would like to have.
All right,
No, he said he left. He said I get to have a reading. Can she read Igor? Can you do a reading for Igor?
You picking up any energy there, Ruth?
Oh yeah, Igor's energy, huh?
Yes.
I don't know if I can read
That's
Igor's
okay.
energy.
I want to have reading.
Yeah, since he's not a real person, it's probably difficult.
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
a little difficult, but yeah, maybe we could work a little on that heart energy there, huh? A little compassion.
Oh, but I always make sure that there. Oh, I guess you're right. There is. Yes.
Okay, you try that for a little bit and let me know how it goes.
Okay. Yes.
Ruth?
Okay, now I have to
Igor?
go back to the dungeon. Okay?
Yeah, go back.
I have to go back.
Hey, Ruth.
Yeah.
So the Wolfman believes in pyramid power and stuff, and we were talking about the tinfoil pyramid hats. Do you know anything about pyramid power or anything that you've studied?
You know, I once rode a camel to the pyramids in Egypt.
How do you get to do all this stuff?
Yeah, you know what? That's such a great question. I actually went with my parents when I was quite young. You know, I've had some experiences with pyramid power, but, you know, I think really my roots are, you know, talking to you more and more, it becomes obvious that my roots are in this kind of like Buddhist meditation, you know, this real kind of like centering with your own being. I'm not saying I don't ever use tools. I use a pendulum, and I got some crystals that kind of help me out in my office. But I'm more kind of focused, you know, like on our own beingness rather than kind of these outside influences. Not that I have anything against them. It's just kind of where my practice comes from.
I've been dying to ask you about your friend that ended up staying over there.
Well, what was more cool is the story of how I found him. I always think that I need to write an article one time on how to Google a monk. Because I spent like years trying to find him. Because all I knew, in 1997, I had a phone call with him. And he said he was flying to Asia. And then in 1999, my friend went to Thailand and ended up at the same monastery as him and met him. So the last report I had of him was in 1999. And then, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, I became obsessed with finding him. And I was just searching like all these websites. Finally, I like put in his name, monk, and photo. And I found a photo of him. in 2005 in Nelson, BC.
You can do a search for a photo?
Yeah, that's what I did. It was years, and then I thought of it. So I find a picture of him in monk robes in Nelson, BC. I searched the woman who took the photo, and then I figure out that her husband was his best friend. I had remembered her talking about him talking about his best friend. I write his best friend an email, and I never hear back. But I feel like I'm on the right track. His best friend owns a business called Bento Miso. You got to remember this, Bento Miso. One day, about 4 months later, I'm on Twitter, and my best friend, who's coming to visit me, has a post. I'm on my way to Bento Miso right now. I'm going, Bento Miso, I know that name. I write her and I go, oh my God, are you going to see Henry? That's my friend, the monk's best friend. She goes, sees Henry, and Henry starts crying. And he's just like, yes, my best friend went to become a monk in Thailand, and I couldn't write Ruth back because I was too upset about her email, and you get to go see your best friend, and I don't get to see my best friend because he's a monk in Thailand. So it's like our best friends are like best friends. It's so crazy. So I go to Toronto. I go to Toronto. I meet Henry. Turns out me and my best friend Miriam and my monk's best friend Henry all went to synagogue in Toronto together before Henry moved out west and became best friends with Julian the monk. I mean, talk about soul groups. Anyways, I come home and I tell this whole story to my partner, who I've been with, how many years? 17 years at that part. And he suddenly hears the name for the first time, and he goes, oh my God, what if he's related to the person who owns the Warm Springs, the place we met? Anyways, it's so crazy. So I email my friend the monk's mom to ask her if she's related to this other guy. She writes back and says, your friend, my son, the monk, is actually in California, and I've emailed him your email. And he writes me back the next morning and says, yes, I've come back from Thailand from 17 years of meditating, and I've thought of you often, and I want to tell you everything. And I hopped on a plane and I flew to the monastery in California to see him, and it was just unbelievable.
So Julian was still in a monastery at that point?
He's disrobed now, but at the time he was in a Thai forest monastery in Ukiah, California, and I went and spent 5 days with him there. And, and he told me all about
What did he do the whole time?
Well,
tell us?
You have a lot of time on your hands is what I learned when you're a monk like that. A lot of time. So he really read the sutras like over and over. It was crazy. He knew that like 1,000-page book by heart. He could open it without even trying to the page that he wanted. So he'd spend like a ton of time meditating and a ton of time studying, but also, in different kind of power dynamics, with the different, the hierarchy and the different like leaders, of the Thai forest monastery, who arahants, monks who say that they're enlightened beings. Just fascinating. A big part of my journey as me and him discovered Buddhism together, and it put me on a whole new track when I was 18.
So Ruth, nice.
Oh, by the way, opening up the lines now. If anyone wants to call in, it's 775-990-8447. Call the Wolfman, Ruth, Dennis, and Darren on the Monster Castle Paranormal line. Or you can find me on Skype at Wolfman Mike 47 or MCPR47. That's my other call-in line on Skype, MCPR47. And there you go. But the easiest way is to actually just call the number. It's 775-990-8447. I posted it in the Spreaker chat room, and I'm going to post it on Twitter right now. Okay, guys, go ahead. Thanks.
All right. Please call. Anybody.
Yeah, no, Ruth. You're. I again love your energy. Again, we talked on the evolution of human consciousness, right? Which is simple. So before you get inundated, which you will by calls, and I don't normally do this, where that I will ask a reader to read me, right? You know the
Are you getting anything on Dennis? Ruth?
Oh, sorry. I just need to know I have consent. Dennis, you'd like some information about your energy?
Yeah, because we're sitting here together, and Mike is setting up his switchboard and stuff like that. I thought,
Well,
we-
Dennis, I'd be curious if you've noticed a shift at all in your energy just over, this hour that we've been together.
Okay.
What
Have
do
you
you think,
noticed
Dennis?
anything change?
Many things.
Oh, yeah. For you, Dennis, I don't know if you have a belief in past lives, but my guess is I would say some of the issues you're dealing with are past life. If you talk about what's happening collectively right now, there's so many of us that are incarnating that we're healers in past lives and we're persecuted. And then there's this fear of really tapping into our potential. And this is like a collective healing happening. And so for you, you're cognitively aware of your potential as a vibrational being, an energy being, but it's like you're not fully integrated. There's like a whole part of your soul that's actually like a few feet outside of you and not fully in you. And actually, even in the course of just kind of being with my energy over this conversation, it's felt like it's come closer and closer, and that your heart chakra has expanded a little bit. And so it would just be, for me, the suggestion for the healing would be setting the intention that it is safe for me to be a completely integrated being. And you can even feel it moving over as we speak. And for this whole kind of part of yourself to feel safe, to be in the center of your being versus kind of at the edge of your energy field. That would be my take.
Dennis, are you feeling that?
No, I'm
When
not
she- when
going
she
to
said-
disregard.
Go ahead, Dennis. Sorry.
No, it's good. Thank you, Ruth.
When she said that something moving over us, I felt something.
I did too.
I definitely felt something moving over us. Something positive. And it's good. I love it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ruth.
I've
you're
been feeling
Ruth kind of knows me, and she knows how I work, and yeah, she's respectful in the manner in which I work.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that.
I've been feeling good ever since you got on the line, Ruth.
Yay!
I love your
Makes me happy.
positive.
I love the energy. No,
approach.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was tired when I first got on. I was like, oh man, I don't know if I can do this, but
your natural born radio voice, by the way, Ruth. I don't know.
Yep.
if
Oh, I
you
know.
realize
It's one of my dreams to be on radio more. I love it.
well, you can get on our show whenever you want to.
Yay.
Well,
Dennis lets you.
we're still
Yeah, right.
actually we're still open for a resident psychic for the Monster Castle. The spot is open.
Yeah. How did we get Dennis on the show today?
It was actually
that's synchronicity, man.
It was total synchronicity. I was trying to call Jeff, and then I tried calling
All your calls.
Adam?
Oh, Brujo. No, what's his name again? Lucas, the one who your buddy that wrote the song for us.
Oh, Booter? James?
No, the other one.
Boudreaux Wilson?
Boudreaux,
Lauren?
that Boudreaux, that's who I tried to get him on. And as he was telling me that he's moving today and he can't come on with us, Dennis tried getting a hold of me on Skype at that actual instant. So I just clicked in
You're
and I
kidding.
said, no, I'm not kidding. And I said, hey, Dennis, would you like to co-host a show with me this afternoon? And he's like, all right.
Oh, that's
Total
awesome.
coincidence.
Can you believe
Total-
that, Ruth?
Yeah, well, of course, yes.
Well, I
How
threw it out to the
how
wind.
everything works.
Basically, what I did was I threw it out to the wind that in case Darren doesn't get back on time from work, I do want to have a co-host on with me. So I like to have two, and it's really good that I just find the show rolls really good that way. And I wanted someone else, and I got one. I just threw it out to the wind, and I got one.
There you go, man.
That's my
That's how
magic.
to do it.
That's my magic.
If you don't ask, you will not receive.
That is my
Nice.
magic.
Ruth,
I learned that a long time ago.
it seems like you and Julian.
Is my magic.
What? Ruth?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you need a lot of free time in order to connect? Or do you need to at least do that once to learn how to connect, and then if you have a busy life, then you can always reconnect again? Because it seems like Julian and you kind of lived in a teepee and you went to the Yukon.
Right. Well, you make a really good point. Like, for me, working with energy feels so normal that I don't even feel like I'm doing something different. And then I can kind of realize later that it was kind of exhausting or strenuous. And so we need to realize that when we're tapping into these different areas, that we are kind of traveling to different paradigms that use energy in different ways. So, it speaks to this self-care, like spending time in nature, taking time to really connect with ourselves. I mean, to me, it's the real gift that we can give the world. Like when we take time, I had like a 5-year dark night of the soul, where I just like cried immensely.
What?
And cleared a massive amount of trauma.
When was this? How old were you?
I just came out of it a couple years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so
can you?
Yeah, thanks. And I dedicated that time to clearing the darkness within me so that I could be more light, so that I could be of service. And so we do need to take the time to do our own inner work so that we can be this vibrational gift to others.
So getting rid of stagnant energy, is that what you said? Just like
like the visual, the way I really see it is that our real nature is that we're a column of light, but we have all this darkness that kind of clouds it up, both from past life karma and from this life karma. Nothing, I like to use the word innocent. I think we're innocent. I don't think we intentionally caused it, but things happen. And so our work here is to go into the subconscious and be really kind of brutally honest and courageous, really courageous. A lot of that trauma we've kind of set the intention to never touch again and never look at because it hurts so much. So it takes a lot of spiritual courage and support to do this work. But when we do, we become someone that can really become of service to others.
Ruth, I've got an issue. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Here it goes. I got an issue. There's religion, there's agnostics, atheism, there's ones who hold knowledge. Those are the scientists and the agnostics or whatever. And when it comes in regards to just lost my train. Let me try to get back. Yeah, I'm kidding.
Sorry, dude.
Damn, I don't even have any train sounds. Woo!
The train has left the station.
Yeah, he lost his train, man.
It's funny, Mike,
I think I can. I can.
The light at the end of the tunnel is the train that's supposed to run you over. But anyway.
It feels like that sometimes.
Oh my god.
Sometimes. Being empathic, right? Being as sensitive, right? No, it's not easy. Okay, and it's easier to be distracted with, to feel as though that you just need to survive on this, within this vessel, right? Because this is the beginning and the end. And no, it's the way we interact with our human beings, and it goes further beyond this, Mike and Darren. I know you know this, right? And Ruth as well. It's in my analogy is dropping a pebble into the oceans of the water, and they create ripples and they go across the ocean. It's the same thing with energy, right? We set intention, right? And universe reads this. They see this already, right? As soon as you do it, as soon as you drop that pebble, you don't have to wait for the waves to go through, because those waves take a while to go from one place to another. Within the universe, you know, that takes like, there is no time. It's automatic, right? So they foresee, right? See, this is where, okay, Mike, Darren, and again, Ruth, you already know this.
Yeah, buddy.
Right. No, this is precognition. Okay, now we've got it. Now we're getting into precognition.
So you're talking dream. Have you ever had any dreams, Dennis, where you the whole day was shown to you in a dream, and then you just live it the next day, and it's crazy, man.
Oh yeah, all the time. All the time.
I don't know if I've ever had that.
I have.
No, what's that like? What happens?
No, really, I'm sitting there at, on a park bench. I mean a bus stop, waiting to go to work, and I could literally tell everyone beside me what color the car that's going to drive by is next.
Yeah.
Because I seen it all already. I did this last night in my dream, and the whole day was going on, and went the whole day went like that, and I could pretty much say what was going to happen next all day long. Freaked people right out.
Yeah.
And what about you? Did it freak you out?
Oh man, it freaked me out, but I'm kind of used to it. I'm kind of used to it. Like, it's happened before since I was a kid, but like, so I just thought I played with it, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna play with this and tell people around me what's gonna happen next, and then they're gonna see it happen, and they're gonna freak out.
Yeah, precognitions. Yeah, you know.
Weird.
No, it's not weird. It's just unique.
No, it's not really.
Cool.
I think it's very common. I think most people.
What Dennis was talking about, I think a lot of this speaks to what happens in the afterlife, and it's some of the work I do of traveling, and it's actually some of the work I'm going to be doing in my April program, on one of my calls, of taking people. You know, I go kind of into the afterlife and kind of see what happened there and how you chose to incarnate and some of the different aspects. And I think it speaks to Dennis's, you know, sense of what's happening in collective conscious, because we have a lot of old souls on the planet right now. Mm-hmm. And as an old soul, we've incarnated enough times. What can we say? That we're not naive, that we know being in human form is really challenging. And so there can be a lot of resistance. There can be a lot of resistance to wanting to incarnate and to wanting to be in human form. And part of this comes back to the embodiment, that part of the healing we need to do is really accept that we're in human form, and that this is where we can create karma. And like Mike, when you're being given that gift of seeing the next day, I mean, that's the connection to your guides, the connection to your afterlife, that you've been here before. And then we have the choice.
I don't know why that they showed me that. It was just useless information. I don't know why my guides would show me that. Useless.
No.
Nothing's useless.
Well, no, it's not useless.
The only thing useful about the information I was shown was that I could show everybody and prove everybody that I was psychic. And I freaked a lot of people out.
No. They're giving you information that you have to look at. You're bypassing it.
Okay,
right?
So maybe I missed the point that day.
The fact that it happened at all was the part that
that's
was
the beginning
useful.
Stage.
Okay.
No, it's not beginning for me.
But it only happened once, right? Well,
no, I get this all the time. I still get this. Sometimes it could be tomorrow. I don't know when I'm going to get it.
It's called having them download the information where that your mind, your brain, whatever you want to call it, can comprehend, and in a manner where that you can put the pictures together.
Okay, now we're gonna go right heavy duty. I'm gonna say, where is your spirit located? Do you think it's in your brain? Do you think your consciousness is in your brain, or is it in your spirit?
No, your consciousness is in your fucking spirit. Your brain is your brain.
Bruce, what do you think?
I want to ask Wolfman a question.
Okay.
Do you ever have a sense that you're not alone? That there's kind of like a bunch with you.
I'm never alone. I always have voices talking to me, and it really works really good when I put on some like white noise, and then I can hear them talking to me really clearly. like a vacuum cleaner or a power saw or something like that.
So
that
everybody's
works really good for me.
incarnation is different because people have come from different realms and come from different places. And so guidance is really individual for each person. And so for Wolfman, he's kind of living, my sense, Wolfman, is that you're living in a community. You got a lot of different guides and a lot of different energies that are with you that are part of what you're doing. And they're quite beautiful. They're quite, oh crap. Oh, I'm forgetting words. You forget words. I get into people's energies. They're quite, the word is they're quite generous. They're compassionate. They're very open-hearted. But it doesn't mean they are right. It doesn't mean they are accurate. So my suggestion would be for you to get a little more in the driver's seat. And you need to talk to them. And you got to be like, all right, guys, I love that you're here. I love that you're with me. I know you got my best... my best interest at heart, but I'm actually in the driver's seat of this life. And you can start directing them more. And you can start asking them, why are you giving me this information? How could I use this information to the best of my ability? And the more you get in the driver's seat of talking to them, you're going to be able to use this information to your benefit. Like I've heard you say a couple times that you wish you didn't have to work this job and you could do something else. You have this whole community that could help you with that. You just got to ask them to help you, and they're going to give you the answer to how to do that.
Right, and when
you're sitting on a gold mine here.
Right, when you mentioned this, Ruth, and to you, Mike.
Thank you, Ruth.
No, it's really being okay. It's really trying to be still. Okay, and just to pick up the messages because you are a connected person. Okay, that's pretty. That's obvious. And where that you get, again, wrapped up in through the distractions, this, that, the other thing, job, this, that, the other thing, blah, money, and fucking all this fucking physical stupid shit. Just to relax. Okay, we talk about meditation, whatever, I talk about processing, whatever like that, doesn't matter. It's just to sit back. And now listen, for me, this is me, okay? When I have a question, I sit out and I process, and the wind. Again, this is me. Nature talks to me. It doesn't matter if it's a radio station. It doesn't matter if it's a TV channel. It doesn't matter if it's a friend that calls the phone. If I have a question in my mind, okay, and something happens, that's the universe fucking bringing it on, right? Straight up, all right? Instant,
Instant. Just like, oh, yeah,
Mike.
hey, Dennis. Just like instant karma, right?
Yeah, you ask, you receive, man. You just got to be still. You got to open your ears. You got to, you close your eyes, man.
Yeah, and that's
perfect. Close your eyes. You don't have to see
all right. John Lennon, instant karma will come right back in a little while. Monster Castle Paranormal with all kinds of groovy psychic talk.
Pretty soon you're gonna be dead. What in the world you thinking of?
John Lennon.
Laughing in the face of love. What on earth you trying to do? It's up to you. Yeah, you. Instant karma's gonna get you. Gonna look you right in the face. Better get yourself together, darling. Join the human race. How in the world you gonna see? Laughing at fools like me. Who on earth do you think you are? A superstar? Well, right you are. Where we all shine on. Like the moon and the stars and the sun. Gonna get you, gonna knock you off your feet. Better recognize your brothers, everyone you meet. Why in the world are we here? Surely not to live in pain and fear. Why on earth are you there? When you're everywhere, gonna get your share. Shine
And we are back. The Wolfman is gone. Ruth, are you there?
Yeah,
I'm here.
I'm here.
I'm here.
Oh,
I'm here. Did
Okay.
it just ended?
Yep.
Right on.
Perfect
Perfect
timing.
timing. Perfect.
I'd like to ask about past lives. Do you do regressions or?
Yeah, I had my graduation today for a training I've done in core process reading. It's a process where you get like one past life read to you, and I've had it done to me, and I've done it a bunch of times, but I do a lot of past life stuff. I do a lot of like cutting cords to past lives and separating really influential ones, and then I'm also able, I haven't done it a lot, but I do have the skill to give like a specific individual past life reading as well.
What's the importance of cutting the old cords? Is it to move forward?
It's really important. Like I'm just really getting, even in the last few days, how profound our past life karma is. There is nothing, I haven't even really articulated this yet, so let's see if I can get it. There is nothing happening in your life every moment, every day that is not influenced by your past lives.
Okay, I believe
that. So essentially, the real way I see it is like a big video game, and that we have all these levels to go through, and you got to learn love and compassion, how to deal with guilt, how to deal with jealousy, how to be of service, how to love yourself. We just have all these things we got to do, and we just kind of keep incarnating until we do them all. And so it's like a big video game, and you just keep upgrading to these other levels. And even in this life, without reincarnating, we're constantly, you could look at your own life probably and see how you've lived like totally different chapters, how you've worked a different job or been in a different relationship or had a different perspective on the world. So even within this life, it's like we're living different chapters or different levels of the video game as an opportunity to work through different karmic lessons, you could say. So the way I talk about it, the expression I use is everything is an opportunity. So we're not being punished, but when challenging things happen, it's an opportunity. And it comes back to what I was saying earlier. It's an opportunity of what are you going to do with your heart and mind? Are you going to totally just hate yourself and I'm a failure and I fucked up? Or are you going to hold love and compassion in your heart and mind? And so we're given some pretty decent challenges. Sometimes I think when we're in the afterlife, we get a little cocky. And we're just like, oh yeah, I got this human thing. Sometimes I joke, I'm going to incarnate as someone in Bangladesh with no arms and legs, and I'm just going to do this, Or I'm going to incarnate. I read an article recently that was saying that sometimes our enemies are actually our best soul friends that will ask someone in the afterlife who we really love to incarnate as someone challenging so we can specifically work on a lesson.
Sure.
So everything is an opportunity. And so in every moment we can ask ourselves, what do I want to do with this opportunity? And, when I say that to you right now, when I'm feeling kind of calm and relaxed, that sounds really easy. But of course, when we're in the midst of the challenge, it's really difficult because we're holding all that past life fear. Maybe there was a time that we spoke up and we were murdered for it. And we wonder, why can I not speak up? Why can I just not tell this person how I feel? Because we're holding that survival fear in our system based on something that happened in a past life.
Hey, Ruth, have you ever had any kind of UFO encounters?
I have had clients,
especially up in the Yukon. Are you living in an area where the sky is really clear at night and you can really see the stars? Then you must have seen some weird shit up there.
Well, I've seen some stuff. I've wondered. I've definitely seen some stuff in the sky and wondered. I've had some clients come to me who have had alien interactions, and when I go into their energy, I can feel what happened, and I've done healings around it. But I don't have a specific situation of my own that I can really speak to.
Okay.
How about you? Have you had alien interactions?
Oh yeah, I've had a lot. But we can talk about that off the air. All my fans have heard all my stories. I don't want to waste the show's time with talking about my old stories again. How about you, Dennis? Have you ever had a UFO encounter?
I've had, it started when I was 17. Well, actually, it started before I started to remember that kind of shit because I didn't make nothing of it. But a couple times I wake up in the morning. There's blood all over the floor, and I'm looking for lacerations on my body and stuff. I can't find nothing, but it's fresh blood. My windows are closed, the doors are closed, and everything like that. And there's blood, and I think they're sampling me or something with my DNA and shit like that. What do you think about that, Ruth?
Maybe you've seen this. I'm so careful not to speak to things I don't know about. What I do, so it's not something I know about. I listen openly to everything because you never know when you're going to have an experience. And so talking about the collective, I'm just listening and I'm hearing you. And then I never know when I'm going to need the information you just shared. Like I always tell the story. I had two friends that spoke a lot about the blue light. And they said when the blue light comes in, it just totally purifies and heals you. And I'd never seen the blue light and I didn't know what they were talking about, but I just listened. And then I was in California in October and I was doing a healing on myself and the blue light came in and I felt it. And I was so grateful that I had just listened to their stories. So I personally have had clients who have come to me and shared stories like you're sharing, but I haven't had a personal experience with it, so I'm not that knowledgeable.
Right. So isn't that where that it would be more of how would I say, a sharing of the information from the higher dimensions in a manner in which that physical humans wouldn't really be able to detect unless they were able to stop and really look at what happened. Otherwise, they just blow it off for another situation or another something and go next.
I agree. I think what's so cool is that everyone's had experiences, and even the biggest skeptic or cynic has had an experience. And so if we talk about this on the cognitive level, like do you believe, do you not believe? I mean, we could just argue all day. And so I find it more interesting to talk on the experiential level. And do we know the answer? Do I know the exact answer to how things work? No, I don't know the exact answer. But what's the intention in my heart? The intention in my heart is healing. And from that place, we go in and we have some experiences, and we don't know on a cognitive level all the details.
Right. How far, Ruth, do you go? How far deep down do you go into a person's soul being?
Into a person's what? Into their soul being?
Yes.
Well, I go as far as the person's ready.
Yeah.
I cannot do anything on somebody that they have not set the intention.
Will not allow you to do. Right.
And so I had a friend in the hospital once, and of course I do hands-on healing, and she was not ready to go into her healing. And when I put my hands on her, my arms went numb. And I have people come and I can maybe do a little chakra work and a little energy clear up, and then that's all I can do. And I can have someone else come and we can do like an immense amount in a short time if they've set the intention that they're ready for that.
I might have missed it, but it kind of implies that you're a little bit into Reiki.
Sure, I haven't trained in Reiki, but I've trained in healing touch and quantum touch, which are very similar.
Yeah, so I never heard of
how do you do like a physical body massage, or how do you go about doing that?
Okay, so I'll speak to both of these. Healing touch is a nurse-based modality. Actually, it's very cool. It was created by nurses, so the work is very compassionate. It has a lot of confidentiality and client care, and it's based on the concept that there's a universal life force energy that's wiser and smarter than you and me, and you kind of channel that universal life force energy, and it brings in the healing. Quantum touch is based on vibration. It was created by a man named Richard Gordon, and it's based on the concept that a place of high vibration is a place of healing, and a place of low vibration is a place of stress or chronic problems. And when you, through the law of resonance, where two things want to match, you bring the higher vibration to the low vibration, and it brings the low vibration up, and it brings the healing.
All right, Ruth. I'm gonna push you on this.
Okay.
How do you bring those together? Right.
That's what I ended up doing. That was the beginning of my work, because in Healing Touch, they teach you very specific methodologies where you put your hands in specific places in different orders. And in Quantum Touch, they only teach you to bring up your vibration. So the beginning of my work was doing both, was putting my hands in those orders, but then bringing a high vibration. Now, in my work, I actually rarely touch people. I'm not saying I don't. I do a lot of putting my hands behind people's heads and holding the back of the head, because that's where a lot of the trauma is stored, in that kind of survival part of the brain. But mostly I'm kind of hands off, and I move all around the body.
Right. So you pick up the electrical energy from the body, and especially more so within the head, right?
It's so much complicated, because it's a lot of what we were talking about with Wolfman 2. You have my guides who are directing me, and then of course I have the guides of the client who are directing. So I'm really doing kind of what you said, Dennis. I'm actually listening. So one of my biggest learning moments is I was working on a friend, and while I was working on her, my neck started to hurt.
Right.
And I thought, oh, that's just my neck going out. I did the whole session without going to her neck. And at the end of the session, I said, how was it? And she said, good, except I really wish you would have gone to my neck. It really hurt. And that was such a learning moment for me. So I listen. So I get directed, like, go to the knee, go to this part of the field, and I go where I'm told to go.
So what you do for end result?
Well, in that session, that one was over. That was just a learning moment for me.
Oh, but with her neck, there was no no resolution.
Was there healing?
She had other sessions with me, but the point was, in the moment that I was feeling my neck, she was wishing I would go to her neck.
Yeah, that happens.
So, but this is what I'm talking about. This is where you have to practice. Because in that moment, I had doubt. And at the moment, I thought, no, I'm not supposed to go to her neck. That's just my own issue.
Okay, here we go. I wanted to ask you this question. In regards to the energies that we hold, okay? Right? We all do hold psychic ability, per se, if you want to call them psychic ability. We all have the ability to connect to the energy of the universe, or conscious energy, right? And when you came to that moment, Ruth, what was it that you were not feeling? See, that's the question that I think is most important, all right, as to what you were feeling when you were working with a client.
I don't get that.
Okay, I guess what I'd like to say to that is the most important thing, I think, in this entire journey is gentle self-love and compassion. And we are not here to be perfect, and we're not here not to make mistakes. We are here to see that success, failure, ups and downs are just the natural flow. And in each moment, we can choose what we take from it. And so in that moment, I took that for the gift it was.
Right. Okay.
Dennis, can I take over for a sec here?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Please go ahead. I was gonna say, Darren's got some questions, and you got 10 minutes before the next break, Darren. And
right.
Actually, I'll give you 15 because we've been going a little past the top of the hour and a half. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I've always been interested in physical healers. Ruth, when was the first time you knew that you had the gift?
Gosh, I wonder if I know now. Humility is a big part of my work. Humility is a big part of the energetic alignment I want to bring. And so, a big part of what I do would be letting go of outcome, right? I don't know if I can heal anyone. I don't know if I can make your leg better. I don't know if I can make your head better. I mean, I don't know. All I know is I can raise the vibration and set the intention to infinite possibility. And that's what I can offer.
Have you ever healed anybody physically?
I'm a little hard on myself. I definitely have had clients report that full painful physical symptoms have gone away after having sessions with me. I have had that reported to me, and I have witnessed it.
You've witnessed a full healing before from somebody else?
Yeah, like one time my partner couldn't barely walk up the stairs because his leg hurt so bad. And so I had him sit on a different couch, and I sat on a different couch, and I just ran the energy on him for about 3 minutes in my head. And then he stood up and walked up the stairs.
And no pain?
Yeah, no pain.
I also wanted to ask you about your past lives. Do you mind telling us what some of your past lives were specifically? Do you mind?
Yeah, well, for me, people could check this out. It's a healer named Adi Konda, and she does the core process. And a year and a bit ago, I had a past life story given to me from her. And now I've done her first training. We actually have our graduation here in an hour and a half. And in my past life, I'm a baker in industrial England, a woman who runs my own bakery. And I'm very successful. My work is like an act of love. I just make beautiful food for everyone. But people don't like that a woman is a successful business owner. And I'm sabotaged, and my food is poisoned, and a child dies, and I go to jail, and I kill myself. I hang myself. And what's so informative in this past life story, to me, what's informative is not, when my friends have listened to the story, they get scared for me, and they say, are you watching out for dark forces, Ruth? Maybe there's people that are going to sabotage you. But I don't think that's the lesson from the story. The lesson in the story is what I did with my heart and mind. And when everything fell apart for me, I just gave up on myself. I just gave up, and I just felt like a failure. And when I hung myself in jail in that past life story, I felt like everything had been a waste and everything was hopeless. And it was a very despairing type of suicide. And that story was very healing for me, because I think for most of my life, I've very easily gone into a fully despairing place, even when it seems like an overreaction.
Right.
And so one day I was going into that despairing place, and I just clicked. This isn't even me. This is just a karmic response. I don't have to go here anymore. And it was very empowering to see that I had the choice, that I didn't have to go into that despairing place that I had set in that past life. Yeah, so that's where past life information can be very useful.
Yeah.
And so it's very similar to this life, that I'm a businesswoman and having and running a successful business. And what do I, want to do, to do with that energy? Because also in that past life, I kind of didn't have a rest of my life. I was like a workaholic, and being a workaholic is a very easy energy for me. And so I've also found that past life story to be informative, that I need to remember to kind of keep my life well-rounded and give my family attention and other activities attention. So these past life stories can help, they can help give clues. Because what all of healing is awareness. All of healing is bringing what is up in the subconscious up to the light of awareness. And the fiery light of awareness burns off the old negative karma. And so we have things buried in the subconscious that take a lot of courage to bring to the surface. And so when we get information about a past life, it helps bring old things from the subconscious into the surface. But it's not a passive activity. We need to bring an active type of loving awareness to the process. And so then my energy healing work partners with that really well, because what I see is people go into the subconscious, they go to therapy, they go to yoga, they bring it up to the surface, and then they just get kind of exhausted, and they get binded up into that egoic resistance, telling them you can never clear this. And so then I'm like a neutral observer. I don't care about the egoic resistance.
Who says you can't?
I reach in there with my hand and I just clear it.
Wait a minute. Who says you can't? Who says you can't? Nobody says you can't do any. Everyone can do anything. Ruth, do you believe in mind over matter, where you can actually affect reality with your mind and cause physical changes in your environment or others' environment around you?
Maybe that's the only way reality is being created in the first place.
I was
That's
just
correct.
thinking that myself, actually. That's what I was getting at. Also, I keep seeing the number 47 all the time. Do you have any idea what that means?
47 is 11.
Well, that's right.
No, but I'm
That's so
seeing
interesting.
every time I look at the clock. Every time I look at the clock, it's either 5:47 or something 47. Like when I just randomly do
11.
something, or I'm downloading a tape and I look at the end where it ends up, it always has a 47.
Yeah, I know.
or the house number I'm going to, or whatever. But it's always 47, and it just keeps popping up.
Ruth knows this.
Well, this is what I want to say. In my opinion, this is why we need healer friends, because we need people that can bring a different perspective. So I recently reached out to a healer because I was being really challenged with the number 40. This is the year that I turned 40, and I was feeling so sad about it. And so I wrote a healer and asked her for advice, and she pulled up a past life from the 1940s where 3 of my children die. And she gave me all the reasons I'm so sad about the number 40 based on this past life. And so this is where we have to reach out to our supports and ask other people if they can see things. Like right now on my screen, it says Wolfman Mike 47. That's your Skype name?
I put it there because that number is magical to me. It seems like it's a magical number.
What I would love to see you do, Mike, is take a moment when you're on your own and ask your guides and just say, could you please tell me what 47 means? And then just listen and trust the first
I've
answer
done that.
comes.
I have done that. And
what did they say?
As far as I can tell, it has to do with this awakening that's coming up and the change coming up. And it has to do with our DNA.
Yeah,
and awakening the 47th chromosome.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
It's not a 6 and a 5, man. It's a 7 and a 4.
And also, the 4 represents music, and the 7 represents, I'm not quite exactly sure, but I think it's hidden truths.
Yeah, 7 is...
But have you asked them, why do I personally need to know about 47?
Well, I was told that personally that I have to spread the knowledge, find out what's going on, get in touch with more people that are like you, create a team, basically.
Yeah, I know you're a community guy. You're a community guy.
Well, I'm a Libra, so I'm a natural born leader, and I want to organize a resistance to the evil. Well, I shouldn't say evil. The lower entities that are opposing us.
Oh,
right. Mention Ruth if I'm wrong. 4 is rebuilding. 4 is destructing. 7 is nuance, renewing. Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any training in numerology.
I'm actually gonna. You know what? I'm doing right now.
Both.
Dennis, I'm gonna pull a card.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead. For you?
I'm pulling a card right now.
No, for who?
For the number 47. I'm pulling a tarot card for the number 47. To see what happens. I've never done this before. So my guides are going to tell me.
I've never done it either.
For the number 47, I'm pulling a card.
Oh, I feel good.
Oh
about
my
this.
God! It's the 7 of Swords.
Yeah,
that's totally random, folks. Honest to God.
Okay, what does the 7 of Swords represent?
Yeah, that's work.
Well, wow. It's partial success and uncertainty, a plan that may fail, trying to do something really hard, and you're like, actually, it really does represent what I'm trying to do, because I'm trying to sneak around behind the government's back and do this.
It's called work,
and this
right?
is what the card represents: somebody that's got some stuff and they're sneaking back behind and trying to do something with it, but their
Pull the
plan
second
might
one.
fail. And
Go ahead,
I know
pull the
that
second
my
one,
plan might fail. So, and I'm taking that risk. And some of my other co-host friends on other stations have had some pretty close encounters with government officials asking them and taking them aside with a gun and saying, "Are you doing a show? Are you doing radio?" And trying to scare them from doing it.
Yeah, fuck that bullshit. I'm pulling another one. Let's see the next one.
All right. So that card makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all,
Match it.
Wolfman, it's all connected to your root chakra. And actually, even in the course of this call, you've had quite a root chakra healing. Can you feel how you feel more stable and focused?
Yeah, I do. And actually, I'm not nervous, and I usually get a little bit nervous when about technical difficulties, and I'm not even worrying about it on this show at all.
Because you asked me when we first spoke earlier this morning to check your energy, to do a reading, and I started to, and you had like an inverted kind of traumatized root chakra. And then over the course of these few hours, there's been a healing, and it's starting to open and widen. So you're not going to be at your other job very long if you keep moving with this energy. It's going to be quite beautiful.
Next card.
Oh my God. Okay. Tell me when to stop, hon. My
cards,
wife
man.
Sandra's
Throw
going to help
cards
me
down.
here. Tell me when to stop.
Do
Okay.
it now. No,
it
it's
is
up
the
to you.
Ace of Cups.
Ace of Cups.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah. You make it as you... You'll get it as you make it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
It's up to
okay.
you.
Ace of Cups is an abundance in all things. Love, joy, fertility, nourishment from spiritual sources. So this represents 47.
Yeah, you got it matching.
So that's what it means.
Yeah.
There you go, sir.
Wolfman, what it is that you actually have a lot of good karma that you've gathered over many lives.
That's
and
correct.
you have this whole community with you. You have a spiritual community, a physical community. I mean, you can feel the emotion of this. You are so supported, more supported than you've realized.
It's
all
like
here
it's
for
like a
you.
cup flowing over.
Yes.
And there's all the spiritual powers just diving into this cup, and it's in my hand.
Exactly.
It's up to you,
So
man.
maybe that's what 47 is, and it was always just a premonition.
Card.
Maybe there's a reason.
Third card is
I don't
what
know.
you
Maybe
need
there
to
was
do.
never any reason. Maybe it was just a reason. The reason was that they're just giving me a powerful number to use to bring people together. I don't know. But it is supposed to
When
be.
you-
card, man.
It's
What-
supposed
what
to be the most
47 Okay.
most occurring randomly generated number from 1 to 100. Is 47 is supposed to come up more often than any other number.
Okay, but when you see a number, what it means is stop and listen. And for you, because you're so collective in community, that you forget about your individual free will. And so my suggestion would be every time you see 47, it's just to stop, take a breath, and remember that you're supported and in the driver's seat of this thing.
Okay. Also, I want to ask you about my mother-in-law that just passed.
Oh, yeah. How long ago did she pass?
Last year, a year ago, October. It was around it was right around my birthday, really.
When's your birthday?
The 4th. Not sure which actual day it was, but 11th, that's right. And my grandfather's birthday was on the 10th, and her birthday is the 11th of November.
What is it specifically that you're feeling about your mother-in-law?
I believe she's trying to give us some kind of message to me and my wife. And we did ask her to show us a sign from the from the after world.
Pull another card, sir.
Is there a specific reason that you're wanting a sign from her?
Pull another card. He's got another question.
Well, I wanted to prove it.
Sorry.
We wanted to prove to everyone, all our friends and everyone, that there is an afterlife. So we asked her to give us a sign when she passes.
Okay, I see.
And I've had dresser drawers fly across the room, all kinds of things. Like,
Yeah. Okay, well, I agree with Dennis that we need to pull another card, but let me just say a few words before we pull it. Everybody needs to travel to the light. Everybody needs to go to the afterlife. And when people die, especially if they die and they weren't totally in agreement with dying, or it was a shock or something like that, and they feel like people on Earth still need them, then they'll kind of hang around. And it's not really the best for them. What they really need to do is go to the light. So what we could do here is a little process where you pull a card, ask your mother-in-law whatever you want to know, and we'll pull a card and we'll get the answer. And then if you'd like, I could help her transition on.
Okay. All right, here's my next card. I usually put on some weird music for my card reading. So I'll use this one. Okay. That's better. And here it is. Hang on. Okay. All right. It is the Nine of Wands.
Nine of Wands. Hey.
Preparedness, strength in reserve. Opposition. If attacked, the person involved will defend himself stoutly. It basically shows
that you're pushing out others.
Somebody is in a defensive position with all kinds of fortification around themselves, ready for action, and defending their fort.
Yeah.
Right.
So So Wolfman, this is you. This is like when you had that dream, you were using it to like prove you were right. And even your mother-in-law being around, it's about proving that people are still around. But what is there to
I guess you know what it is my family and some people that are skeptics, they just don't believe some of the stuff that you know what I mean?
Does it matter?
Yeah.
I just want them to learn. I want
somebody is against Mike.
Yeah, possibly.
I would disagree. I think it's that Mike's against himself. That the only acceptance you need is your own. The reason we incarnate is to come into this sense of unconditional acceptance. And at the moment, you have a bunch of beautiful skills, like so full of love, it's insane. But somehow there's a sense that you need to use them to convince others or use them to defend yourself. But what if you were only using those skills to touch in to your own inner love and connection? The whole thing, the top will blow off the whole thing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's all about love, and you're right. When I've exorcised houses, fought demons, and some of the stuff I've done, I use pure love. You can't use hate against a demon. It doesn't.
And so
work.
then to be compassionate and come back into this innocence, this probably comes from past lives, where you felt like you had to defend yourself because you maybe were really in danger. But in this case, you're not actually in life or death danger against the skeptics. But that resonance is still there, right?
Yeah.
So we can have a lot of compassion. That type of defensiveness is coming from a very innocent place. But it's an old karma that you don't need anymore. Its time has come to an end.
Okay, so I got to just move on, and what you're saying is stand my ground. In a moment that you're with someone who's skeptical, look my guides in the eye and ask them and tell them I'm in control. So thank you. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you very much.
See, what I would like to mention, Ruth and Mike, is again the old adage. We all know this. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. We know this.
But for past lives, what kills you also makes you stronger.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know that too as well. And it's not laying down. It's you're going to well, if required, fight, but you're going to stand ground, right? And see, this is where I go, Mike. Okay, this is where I go. is I draw from the energy of the universe. Okay, this is what I do. I do physical things, but I do, like multidimensional things too at the same time. And I draw from the energy of the universe, and they see me do what I do. Within this 3D physicality, and this is just something that I learned, right? Well, this is something that I found out that works, right? Apparently. Is where that we're, I'm a mortal being, right? And I'm sharing this time and space in this here and now with other mortal beings. They happen to be humans. And yeah, I've only lived here for like 25 years, 20 years, 15 years, 5 years, 10 years. It doesn't matter, right? I'm going to die eventually, and then I'll continue. And it's where that, again, like we talked earlier, is in regards to the energy that was sent out to the universe. Our conscious energy is picked up and noticed, and they already know, but they're witnessing. Again, this is just me, on what I'm doing in my actions, and so yeah, they see me, and it's what I do, and it's what they're about to show me. And it's right there in front of me, and I just got to be still and just pick it up. And so where that you're mentioning, Mike, it might be, okay, I got to ask you a question, Mike. All right, because my train went off the track.
Okay, I'm here.
All right, I got to ask you a question.
All right, I'm listening.
When's the last person, if, was there ever a person that you asked this question? Is life simple? Is it easy? Anyone say that to you? That's a direct question.
I'm sorry, I just had someone walk in my room here and interrupt me. I had to turn my
That's a great
mic down.
question, I thought.
Can you repeat
What
that?
do you
I'm so
think,
sorry,
Ruth?
Dennis. Go ahead.
No.
I hate that. I just had someone interrupt me and walk in.
All right, Darren heard it. Darren.
Okay.
Darren,
can you answer that?
Yeah, repeat the mic. Yeah. No, repeat the mic
I
before
can't.
you answer.
It's about simplicity.
Yeah, of course. But
Is Ruth still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, I know, but
I was wondering what she thought of that.
But Mike didn't hear the question.
Oh, I heard the start of it, and then I got rudely interrupted, and I had to turn my mic down and talk to somebody.
All
I
right.
didn't know I was on the
Last time you
radio.
heard any human being say to you that life was easy or simple? Life was easy.
It's not.
No.
No, everybody says
and
life
why
is
do we do
hard.
this? Yeah. Why do we do this as human beings? Make it hard.
I don't think it's really, if my answer to that is if we all lived in a community, and I'm a big anarchist and I'm a hippie, so I believe that if we all lived in communities and everyone had a purpose in the community and helps each other, this is a dream of mine, but
good. Great.
I don't,
and
you probably only have to work 3 days a week and you have everything you want.
Yeah, I know, but Mike, this is the way it is, right? You got to pay your freaking damn taxes, right? We live on the grid, okay? If you don't, wonderful, great. I envy you, okay?
Okay, well, I'm curious, Darren.
Yeah.
Darren liked that question. What did that question feel like to you? You touched something when Dennis asked that.
Absolutely. Well, that's just how I feel in my life. I've always tried to keep it simple and be thankful. And when you talk about all these past lives and all the trauma, I've just had a really easy life, I feel like. And I think I went through the ringer before or something, because I'm just a happy guy.
But Darren, maybe you could relate to this. Sometimes having a very easy life, it's a different level of karma, right? Because we're here, maybe you can relate to this. We're here to really find soul purpose and life purpose. Mm-hmm. And often when things are very easy, it can be easy a little too easy to be apathetic and not rise to the challenge. And so generally having a very easy life can be a sign of being quite an old soul, because we're in kind of the end of the challenge where we have to draw on our own reserves to come into our life purpose. I don't know if that resonates for you.
No, it does. I mean, I always have to apply myself and force myself to do things that, you know, instead of use the force, I have to force myself. Like, that's when I worked for hospice. I probably got the most joy out of life, and it was also the most difficult thing and most painful thing I did. But there's more to life than just happiness. There's being fulfilled and feeling like you're, fulfilling a purpose in this world that brings a deeper happiness than just, happiness on the surface. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I know exactly what you mean. And I hope you guys get a sense of this. What I love about my work, and of course my background is actually, I have a degree in early childhood development. And what I loved about working with kids is that every kid is so different, their personality, their temperament. And what I love about doing chakra readings and healings is everybody's journey is so unique. And the three of you are so unique. And so for Darren, you just have this unbelievably huge heart. I mean, people just must love being around you. It's unbelievable. But then I've seen
Most
this
people.
in other.
I'll vouch for that.
Yeah.
I'll vouch for that. He is
because you have your
huge
heart.
man. He's a monster of a guy. He's huge.
Oh, stop.
He could, like Darren's big. Like, he's not a bully. Like, usually guys his size are a bully.
Oh yeah, but Darren, he's
not a bully. He doesn't do that to anyone. He don't say.
Let her finish.
Darren
get out of my way.
Naturally, very wide alignment in his heart chakra. A very wide alignment in the heart chakra. That's universal love. That's coming into that sense of universal love. And so you heard Darren there a little shaky when he talked about the gift of fulfillment, the gift of being at hospice. But let's see what's happening. But where the chakra that could use a little help for you, Darren, I hope this is okay that I'm doing this here.
No, please do.
The chakra that could use a little help, and I'm really seeing this in men a lot. It comes back to this masculine feminine thing I was talking about, is the sacral chakra. And the sacral chakra is like our creativity, our innovation, and then our joy. And so you have this naturally big heart, and so it's very easy for you to feel love and feel connection. But then to find your unique alignment with creativity, power, and innovation, that's where you're going to actually experience joy. So experiencing love and connection is just natural for you, where for other people it would be a challenge.
I agree with that.
The next challenge is to really find your unique creativity, and that's where you're going to touch a level of joy that I don't know if you've quite experienced yet. It'll be very lovely for you, but challenging.
I don't think so.
Well, I gotta say one thing. I gotta agree with Rox Mulder on #47Talk. That's our chat room in Twitter, and he said, I said to him, call in for a reading, and he said, sorry, I don't know how to read.
I do want to go back, Wolfman. We didn't quite finish with your mother-in-law.
Okay.
And what I'd like to suggest is you and your wife, you just need to have a little chat with her. So the most compassionate thing you could do is to have a little chat. You could light a candle and take a quiet moment. You can put some music on if you want, and you and your wife together. It might be a little emotional, but it'd be nice if you had a little chat with her and a little send-off, and tell her that you guys are good. You guys are totally good here on Earth, and that she should continue on where she needs to go, and that would be a really big gift you could give her.
All right. Now, that's great advice. That is great advice. I really like that. That's what I needed to hear, I think. And
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. My pleasure.
Wow,
Absolutely.
You helped me. I got to say, you did help me. So I don't know why nobody's calling. We got lots of people listening, and nobody's calling
tough.
me.
You know what? It's tough.
775-990-8447 if anyone wants to call in.
Well, I'll just speak to it. It's very vulnerable. I totally understand. We're on the radio. You don't know who's going to listen. I'd like to tell everybody that I will ensure that if I pick up things that are sensitive or confidential, something about something like sexuality or relationships, I will not mention the details online. I'm going to totally only say things that are kind and compassionate and take your privacy into complete.
No, I want you to tell me about all my nasty, perverted thoughts.
You do? I feel like that's we could do that another time.
Okay.
All right. Dig it.
Ruth, can you talk about your, how we would join your thing on Wednesdays and
what
website and everything?
People should go. My website's super simple. It's my name, ruthlira.com. Everything there is very comprehensive. You just need to give yourself a little time to go through. You can read about the self-healing community. If you scroll down to the bottom of that page, you can sign up for the 7-day free trial. I send out a newsletter where I write beautiful articles. You can book an energy healing session with me. They're 1-hour sessions. They're $100 Canadian, and you can order a chakra reading. You just there's an order form online, and they're $40. And then I email you. It's usually a few-page document where I thoroughly go through the information in all your chakras, including recommendations. ruthlira.com.
What if I want a really nasty, scary reading? Would you do that?
Sorry, somebody wants a nasty, scary reading?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think just the truth of our neuroses is scary enough, to be honest. A scary reading. I do feel like my job as a healer is to push people, to challenge people. Often I tell people the advice that is exactly what they don't want to hear because it's what they know they have to do, and it seems so hard. And it's my job as a healer not to stand back from that type of information, but to say it as honestly and compassionately as I see it. I also do a lot of ghost and entity removal. People are carrying an unbelievable amount of entities and ghosts. I have one client in Norway who I cleared. It's the only time I've ever cleared something I hated. This ghost, I hated it. And you can see that I'm not generally hate these things. And I cleared it out my window over my sage. And a few days later, I went to smell my sage, and it was disgusting. It smelled. I threw it out. It was gross. And that client went from basically being mentally ill, I could barely understand him, to the next week a top director of a theater company called him and offered him a leading role, and he went on to do this unbelievable play, and he's totally articulate and an unbelievable healer now. So, I don't think that stuff is scary, but it needs to be done. It connects to what I was just saying to Wolfman. Everything needs to go to the light. And so the most generous thing we can do is clear these entities and ghosts to the light, because it's where they need to go.
Oh, man. Okay.
Nice. Thank you, Ruth.
Yeah.
Welcome.
That was amazing. Okay. I do have a caller coming in. I'm trying to reconnect. I couldn't connect him on this Skype, so I'm trying to. Okay, Eric, I'm trying to connect you on the other Skype line because I can't add you to that call. So I'm gonna hang up on this, but you're getting a call from me on the other line.
All right, I got to fly out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay, Eric, I'm calling you on the other line.
Yeah.
Dennis, it was lovely meeting and connecting with you. I really enjoyed chatting.
Thank you so
Well,
much,
thank you as well.
Dennis. You were amazing, man.
Yeah, thanks.
What a great co-host.
Well, thanks.
very-
I enjoyed the time.
Really appreciate it, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Awesome.
Right, yeah.
Thank you so much, man.
All right. Till then, be well, dream well. Yeah.
You
Okay.
too. Take care.
I don't know why he had to go.
How we doing?
We're doing great. I just don't. I hope he wasn't upset about something. Or he must have had to go for some reason. I hope.
Yeah, we've been on here for a few hours.
Yeah.
I might have to go at some point too.
Well, how much? No, we're coming up on the end of the show. I think we have 5 minutes left.
Oh, man.
okay.
I'm not sure why can't I add Eric to this call?
Eric, come on.
Contacts. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. Eric Johnson. Yeah. Okay. Add to group call. Okay, I got it. This should work. I think Eric wants to. He's an awesome guy too. And Darren, you must have some more questions now that I had no idea that he had so much. Like I never heard anyone actually ask more questions than you before.
Yeah, that's all right though.
That's
his wheelhouse. You know, I'm not into all this stuff. I try, but maybe I'll get on Ruth's group there and do some meditation on Wednesday or something. I don't know. But I was going to ask her about living in the Yukon way up there.
It's something, but you know what? I just got back from Costa Rica, and we're having this crazy cold spring. It's like minus 25 degrees today. It's like crazy cold, but so beautiful. Like the sky is totally clear blue, and the sun is so powerful.
And you're telling me that you've never seen any weird things like when you look up at the clear sky, stuff that looks like little stars moving around up there?
Yeah, I have. I have seen stuff that I've been driving home, and I've been like, that is not a plane. Like, I don't know what that is. But, we also have northern lights here, so we spend a lot of time looking at the sky.
Are there a lot of roads up there? I mean, that's really far north.
There are not a lot of roads. There are very few roads.
When does it get warm?
Sometime in April or May. But, but the most amazing thing about up here is the light, of course, right? Like, we're starting to have really long days.
Damn.
And, of course, by solstice, June 21st, it's like 20 hours of light with 4 hours of kind of dusk. And then, of course, in the winter, it's the opposite. We just have 4 hours of light with 20 hours of dark.
Oh, man. I can't.
So it's beautiful because we live really close to nature. We're so influenced by nature, and it influences our headspace and our decisions. We're not really so separate from it. I try to take my kids every summer on big trips in the bush. We were 26 days living in a tent together this summer, like a 15-day kayak trip way down a lake, and just try to get out there. And it really what I love about being in nature is you don't have to do anything. It just changes your consciousness. Just being in nature changes your consciousness. You don't have to meditate or do anything else. It's amazing.
Right. It's like meditation. It's just getting all the noise out, huh?
It's the true way of the world, and you just become more aligned with it, and then you become more aligned with yourself. I mean, it does the whole thing. It's pretty simple.
Truth comes through silence, huh?
Silence is very important.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, we got Eric.
There we go.
No, it's not Eric. It's Ophidian.
Oh, this is Ophidian.
It's
Eric's not available, so he asked me to call in for him.
Okay.
So are you listening to your radio?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Please turn off your device.
I'm trying to turn it off. I'm
Turn
driving.
down your device.
Please turn off your
I
device.
can't seem to function correctly. Is it okay now? Can you?
Please take the device and throw it out the window.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, what happened?
He took the whole device and threw it out the window.
Oh my gosh!
See, this is what 47 is about. Your power, Wolfman.
Oh my lord! That's right. It's the Wolfman ticket. All right. Well, that shows that we
finally got a call.
Oh man. Well, it's time. Oh man, I'm gonna show you guys some groovy music I made a long time ago, and we're gonna take a little break, and we'll try to get Eric on. In the meantime, let's listen to this stuff. All right. He's back.
Eric.
He's back.
I'm back. I think when you threw the device out the window, you threw the phone out the window. I had to pull over and get it.
Man. All right, Eric, we're taking a break right now, though. It's
Okay,
break
awesome.
time. It's the top of the hour. We're going to come back. We can talk offline, and then we'll be back in 5 minutes, folks.
Beautiful.
This is Monster Castle original. I call this one Psycho Drummer. It's all me, actually. my gosh. All right, we are back. We are back, folks. We got callers, so Debbie, I believe you're first. Debbie, are you there?
Ruth, I wanted to say hi to you personally, and I wanted to ask you if you could just do a general reading of me by chance. I don't know if you've connected
hi
with me
Debbie,
yet.
for sure. So yeah, I started taking a little peek at your chakras, and you got a lot of really nice stuff going on. A real strength through the root chakra. So the root chakra is like, for you, I have a sense of like stability with your home and finances. Things are going pretty good. Pretty good at the self-care through the second. You're quite self-aware, taking care of yourself. For you, where the work is with so many women, it's true into the solar plexus chakra. And this is all these segues from this conversation about where the planet's going with this kind of feminine energy right now. And so the solar plexus chakra, this is, like just below the rib cage. And this is our self-love, and it's also our power. And I find this so beautiful because our power comes from our self-love. And so this also then connects for you, especially to the throat chakra and this sense of wanting to speak from our authentic self. And so what I get from you is that things are going pretty good, but there's this like little nagging bit where you feel like there's more, where you feel like there's something more you're supposed to be doing or more life purpose. Does that resonate?
I hold a lot back. A lot.
You hold a lot back.
And I was told recently by somebody in person, a reader in person, that my heart chakra is closed.
Well, how long ago were you told that?
Last week.
Last week.
I've had that experience before, and it's really hard to get it open.
Okay, well, Debbie, how do you feel? Do you feel like your heart chakra is closed?
90 miles an hour.
Your heart chakra is going 90 miles an hour?
No, it's closed.
The sense
90
I
miles an
have
hour,
is
yes.
that it's closed. My sense I have is when it comes to expressing love or being there for others or having compassion for the planet as a whole, that's not really so challenging for you. But when it comes to really accepting yourself, really not being hard on yourself when you have personal failures, that's more where you're struggling, the self-judgment.
Well, yeah, I've been okay, first of all, I don't maintain the victim mentality. That's for damn sure. But I will say this, I've been through a lot in the last 10 years. And so my heart chakra being closed, I wouldn't doubt it.
My personal sense is I'm not actually concerned with your heart chakra. Like if I was working on you as a healer, I'm not that concerned. Where I would suggest the work is a relationship between your solar plexus and your seventh chakra. So the seventh chakra is the connection to the divine. And my sense is that you have a feeling that you're kind of alone, that things are hard, but you have to go at it alone. And there's an opportunity through coming into a greater level of self-acceptance and unconditional love to open up to a level of divine support that could really support you to come into this next chapter that's more aligned with your life purpose. I know all of that sounded really general, but does any of that resonate?
You need a crowbar?
You need a crowbar?
See, now he says...
she's reading the chat. Yeah. I'm giving her a hard time.
I'm watching you. I'm everywhere. Hedgewall.
Yes, you are.
I'm everywhere, Mother.
Would you, Debbie, would you be open to me doing a tiny bit of healing work on you at this moment to just get that movement going for you a little bit?
Ruth, I can take all the healing that I can get, sweetie.
All right.
Can I ask you a question first? Were you on Blog Talk Radio? Were you ever on Blog Talk Radio?
Sorry, what was that?
Were you ever
on Blog Talk Radio?
No, I've never been on that. All right, Here we go. I'm just cutting a whole bunch of cords around your throat. These are a whole bunch of past life cords. There's definitely some hanging, strangling in your past. I'm going to get a bunch of these entities out. Oh, much better. Do you feel that? And let's get this third a little bit unwound. And let's get this seventh open. Oh, yeah. Let's get this whole bundle off the shoulders. Bring in the field. Oh, there we go. All right, Debbie, how does that feel? What does it feel like now in your body and mind?
You know, I do feel more relaxed. My
Yeah.
shoulders
Sweet.
dropped. That's weird.
Yeah. So really, what we got going for you here today is going to give you a good start for what you need. If you want more, you can get in touch with me. But there was just a kind of bunch of cords that weren't yours and a bunch of past life stuff that was holding you back a little bit, but it cleared really quick. You were ready for that to go.
Okay. Well, we only have a couple minutes left. So, Eric, do you want to
Eric,
get in there?
Bye, Debbie.
Are you still there,
Is Debbie
Eric?
still there? Debbie?
Eric?
Is Debbie there?
Well,
Maybe
oh
Debbie's
my
gone.
gosh, she hung up. Okay.
Yeah, well-
She's gone.
Is there Eric?
She's
Eric, are you there? I mean Ophidian. Sorry, it's not Eric. It's Ophidian.
Oh.
No.
He's really having trouble with that.
Oh,
phone.
it's okay. Can you? And you've already. Okay, we only have a minute left anyway. So, what we got to do is say thanks for everyone for listening, and really appreciate everyone taking their time to listen to our show. And thank you so much, Ruth. And we definitely, and we're having her back on tomorrow night, by the way, after she's taking the second half of the show on our Saturday night. So we'll have her
sweet.
back. Yeah. Right away. So if anyone missed it, then we're coming back tomorrow with Ruth again. She'll be on for the second half of the Saturday night show, starting at midnight Eastern Standard Time on Monster Castle Paranormal Radio, and that's on KTLK, the Fringe.fm digital network. You can get that on TuneIn. You can get that on iTunes. Where else can we get that? TalkStream Live. Darren?
Yeah, TalkStream Live.
Okay.
The Fringe.
Say goodnight to everyone, folks.
All right.
Anything
Good night.
else you gotta
Thank
say?
you, Ruth.
All right, thanks, Wolfman. Thanks, Darren. So great.
Thank
chatting.
you.
All right, we'll see you
Yeah,
tomorrow.
later.
We will see you tomorrow.
Okay, see you
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Hey.
Looking forward to it.
Hang out after the broadcast.
5 seconds left. Thanks, folks.